Each team has found a way to win late. Right now, let's hear about last night's game and preview tonight with the manager of the Rays, Kevin Cash, is our own Andy Freed. Andy?
Neil, thanks. Downstairs now with the manager, Kevin Cash, as it's Rays and Cubs for the rubber match. And Skipper, yesterday I thought Aaron Savali gave you a heck of a ball game and a chance to win. After a bit of a rocky outing in the first, he did seem to settle in.
Yeah, I thought he did. And look, that's 3 starts now in a row. I think Aaron's thrown the ball really well. I thought he had really good stuff again. The fastball was good. The cutter was good. Both breaking balls that he featured, the sweeper and the curveball. Very encouraged with how he's kind of turned it around. I mean, he was going through a rough stretch here for 4 or 5 outings. Feel like he's in a better spot right now.
You know, we asked him after the game, or I shouldn't say we, the writers asked him after the game about a little uptick on the velocity of his fastball. Right away, we saw 94s and some 95s right away, where maybe we were seeing 92s and 93s. Does that matter for him? Does that help him?
Oh, any more velocity you can create, I think that probably helps any pitcher. We're getting to the point of the season where guys are probably at their top speeds with their arms and the build-up that it takes. Sometimes it takes a little while. You're not going to reach those in your first 3 or 4 outings of the year. You got to settle in, and maybe that's what we're seeing.
You know, I saw Taylor Walls getting on first base yesterday, and it reminded me to look up just how good he is in stealing bases and what a high percentage he is. His walk turned into a run as Esau got a very big hit, I thought, in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, he definitely did. It was good to see Wallsy do that. There are certain things, you know, when you come back from injuries, mentally you got to overcome, and stealing bases are one of those things. And I know when Walls first got here, there was some hesitancy on his part for good reason. Hasn't been able to test it at this level. I mean, when you steal a base on a rehab assignment in Durham, outer safe doesn't mean a ton, but it does here. So for him to get that, and he is very good. He picks the right pitch, and he always seems to get a really good jump.
Yeah, and I overlooked, I didn't mean to, the hustle double by Jose Siri. Out of the box, it looked like he wanted to go for 2. Later on, he had a home run, and he had another very good catch to start the game. And boy, when he does stuff, what an impact he has.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a very impactful player. That's a great word to describe him. When he's focused and committed to doing what he's capable of doing, he can be really special in the field. And I think we've seen that here as of late, whether he's making diving plays or covering a lot of ground in the outfield or with the bat, the power. And yesterday, that excites everybody. That excites the dugout, it excites the crowd for him to bust it out of the box and put pressure and ultimately be safe.
And one other thing, going back to Taylor Walls a little bit.
Listen, I've been following you for a while, man. Bottom line is you get your A swing off and generate a lot of pop.
I just want to go
I'm getting
barrel.
this A to B.
Oh, man. Straight to the ball, barrel. Hitting the ball is the hardest thing to do. I'm a person from 0-0. I'm looking for spin. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to look for spin, but I'm going to time up a fastball. 0-0, if you spin it, I'm swinging. Like, if you spin it in the middle, I'm going to destroy it.
A milestone moment for a Pittsburgh icon back home.
How good is it that they can enjoy that here in Pittsburgh?
Man, it's hard to even speak right now. What a beautiful thing.
What a wonderful achievement.
for Andrew McCutcheon. 2,000 career hits, and to do that in a Pirate uniform.
That's what means the most right there.
Had the right guys up, and I had the feeling that Bilal was going to get it done, either with a hit or maybe another homer. Just missed a hanging split and drove it out to, deep left center, but not deep enough.
Not deep enough. Rays do lose 4-3 to the Cubs, and today we got the rubber match. We'll talk to the skipper about that right after this on the Rays Radio Network.
Hi, Rays fans. Nick Voinovich, president of Little Greek Fresh Grill here. We have some exciting news. You can now taste our wonderful, fresh, flavorful, and fabulous Greek dishes at Tropicana Field. We are located at the third base and first base food halls. So please come visit us for our delicious gyro, chicken.
Field. McCormick back. It's over his head. The Guardians walk it off. Chill Will Brennan gives the Guardians their only lead of the night. And it only took 14 innings to get there. His first career walk-off hit will be one to remember. There's a ball driven in deep left field, up and gone to the home run court. Jose Ramirez, home run number 7. There's another long fly ball. Deep center field, and gone to Souvenir City. Career home run number 200 for Jose. Right field, Ref Snyder back. He's going to wave goodbye. It's the first 3-homer game in the career of Jose Ramirez.
Anticipation to see what...
Oh, goodness! That ball had a family! In game 2, his first home run. A 2-run bomb.
John, that wasn't just a home run. That ball almost exited the ballpark.
The hardest hit ball by a Red this year. It brought everyone to their feet.
Now it's time for Who Can It Be? We're going to show you a childhood photo of a big leaguer. Can you guess who it is?
Got him. How much is that a tribute to how good the Oriole lineup is? Because the stuff certainly seems to be heading in a very good direction.
Yeah, I mean, both good. Both his stuff's good. That they fouled off because they couldn't hit it, but not enough swing and miss to end the at bat a little sooner. I do agree with Taj. Foul balls drove the pitch count up, long at bats, but man, he was really good. And what an adjustment he made coming out of Camden Yards into our ballpark. After he gave up a bunch of runs, he went in and gave up 1 run, gave us every opportunity. Like the way he's thrown the ball.
You were talking a moment ago to the writers, and I'm curious if you might talk about it a little more about Taj and his ability to accept some suggestions from the organization about what kind of pitches to throw in the big league level and how accepting he's been with that.
Well, I think he realized last year all the talent in the world, but sometimes you got to make adjustments. And what you were doing in AA or AAA doesn't always translate immediately up here, and you got to make the adjustments. I credit Taj for doing that. His split is it's game-changing for where he's at right now. The slider cutter has been a huge weapon for him, and he still has that fastball and curveball to match.
One thing to point out, the Cubs stole 6 bases yesterday, and it's a tough moment because walks can turn into ostensibly extra base hits. But Taj holds runners very, very well. What does he do that maybe the rest of the staff, I don't know, maybe could do a little bit better?
Be quicker to the plate. Taj is the best, and without a doubt, on our staff. We got to get better at that. It's something that Kyle and I talk about. Last night, I don't think it really came to burn us, but it certainly could with a big hit after we give the extra 90 feet. So our pitchers got to do a better job of being mindful of what the game situation is and who's willing to take bases.
Yep, thanks as always.
All right, thank you.
Rays manager Kevin Cash back upstairs to Neil.
All right, very good stuff, Andy, and also Rays manager Kevin Cash. And as we get set for first pitch on this Thursday night, last of the homestand, last of the series between the Rays and Cubs, let's get to our starting lineups for tonight's ball game. They are presented by Republic Bank. It's just easier here. We'll start with the Chicago Cubs. They are now 33-35. They are managed by Craig Counsell. And leading things off tonight is going to be Mike Tauchman. Tauchman came off the bench yesterday. He'll get his first start of the series in left field. Christopher Morel, who homered in game 1 of this set, will be the DH tonight. His first day not in the field. And Morel will be batting second.
There's a ball driven in deep left field. Up and gone to the home run court. Jose Ramirez, home run number 7. There's another long fly ball. Deep center field and gone to Souvenir City. Career home run number 200 for Jose. Right field. Ref Snyder back. He's going to wave goodbye. It's the first 3-homer game in the career of Jose Ramirez. Left field. McCormick back. It's over his head. The Guardians walk it off. Chill Will Brennan gives the Guardians their only lead of the night. And it only took 14 innings to get there. His first career walk-off hit will be one to remember. A milestone moment for a Pittsburgh icon back home.
How good is it that they can enjoy that here in Pittsburgh?
Man, it's hard to even speak right now. What a beautiful thing.
What a wonderful achievement for Andrew McCutcheon. 2,000 career hits, and to do that in a Pirate uniform.
That's what means the most right there.
Race today, wearing the Columbia blue tops with the white pants, the away grays with the blue.
Left field. McCormick back. It's over his head. The Guardians walk it off. Chill Will Brennan gives the Guardians their only...
Well, after the Red Sox beat the Philadelphia Phillies last night. There are 2 teams in the American League East that already have played, and those are the Yankees, who were walked off on by Kansas City 4-3 the final in KC. That prevented New York from sweeping that 4-game set. And the Orioles were looking for a sweep of the Rays' next opponent, the Atlanta Braves, but Atlanta had a 4-0 lead early, and they held on and ended up winning by a final score of 6-3. And that's an update of scores of note on the Visit Tampa Bay out-of-town scoreboard. Taj Bradley leading his troops onto the field tonight. With that, why don't we get to our pitching preview? And it's presented by Canes Furniture. Quality, selection, value. That is the confidence of Canes. Taj Bradley, similar to the opposing starter Justin Steele, was sidelined early on in the season due to injury. Steele had a hamstring issue that knocked him out right at the latter part of March. For Taj Bradley, it was earlier in that month that he had a pec strain that slowed down his start of the season, and this is just his 7th start this year. Now, Bradley's coming off one of his more effective outings. He gave up 1 run in 5 innings against the Baltimore Orioles after getting knocked out by that same team in Baltimore. 4 out of 6 starts so far, Bradley has allowed 2 runs or fewer, and when he's allowed runs more than 2, it's been in bunches. 5 against Boston and 9 against the Baltimore Orioles. Those are both in division. When he has had in trouble, the home run ball has bitten him. He's allowed a total of 8 of those so far, and the majority came in those 2 outings, including 4 in Baltimore. But his last time out, he was really lively with his fastball, which averages just over 96 miles an hour. His splitter and slider are both over 90 miles an hour. So for the most part, he's a power pitcher. With those 3 offerings, the fastball, slider, and split representing 88% of his pitches. He'll throw the curveball 12% of the time, and that's at 79, which will change eye level and also change velocity. Yesterday, he got to catch the first pitch from Mike Evans, who, of course, is the #1 receiver for the Bucs and one of the best in the game. We've got one of the best in the game to lead us off tonight. He's got the first couple of innings of play-by-play. That's my broadcast partner, Andy Freed.
Right back at you, Neil. Thank you very much. And how nice of you to say as we get set for baseball, the Rays and the Cubs in the rubber match. And whoever wins this series gets a little burst, and whoever loses it, licking their wounds a little bit. As Mike Tauchman takes Bradley's first pitch too high, ball 1. It's 6:50, a very tightly played series. Rays coming back with a 4-run ninth to win on Tuesday, and yesterday leaving the tying and winning runs on base in the ninth. It's a swing and a fly ball down the left field line towards the pole, giving Chaser Rosarena into foul territory, and it is foul, and down into 162 landing. That was dangerous. It's only 315 to the pole, and that thing sliced at the end. I thought for a second it might ding off the pole, and that's not what we wanted.
Not at all.
But it worked out okay. It was just a foul ball. And it's even up 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's a hard ball to keep fair, too, for a left-hand batter.
We've seen it done before, but you're right. It does tend to... Seems like the ball tends to want to go foul from the left-hand batters down the left field line. Tauchman is 0 for 7 in the series, and Bradley throws 1-1. There's a strike with off-speed. I thought Kevin Cash had some interesting comments today about what it's taken for Taj Bradley and what it will continue to take for Taj to get better even within the major leagues. He said the stuff was fantastic, as we all knew, and he came up fastball, curveball. He goes, but what often happens at AA and AAA with the success you have does not always directly translate into success at the major league level. And the 1-2 pitch low and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So he's mixed in the off-speed stuff, in particular the splitter, that has helped him out quite a bit. And the cutter as well. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Tauchman, then Morel, and then Bellinger. And the pitch is high, full count 3-2. Taj Bradley was ahead 1-2, and now behind 3 balls, 2 strikes. Willie Harris, the third base coach, Mike Napoli at first for Chicago. They get ready to go home and take on the Cardinals. The 3-2 to Tauchman, laced to center, but right at Seri, who's high-stepping his way to it and makes the catch, kicking out his left leg as he grabs the routine fly ball for 1 man retired.
All right, defensively for the Rays tonight, it's Randy Arozarena in left, Jose Siri in center, and Johnny DeLuca in right. It's Isaac Paredes at third, Jose Caballero the shortstop, Brandon Lau at second, Yandy Diaz at first, and Alex Jackson is the battery mate tonight of one Taj Bradley.
You know, the phrase that we often hear, Neil, or the word, so to speak, as the right-hand batting Christopher Morel fouls it back on one, is buy-in. And Taj Bradley had to buy into what was being laid before him as perhaps a ticket to more success while being in the majors. His confidence is certainly there as well, and his arm no doubt is. And the breaking ball low and outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I still don't know if he realizes how good he can be.
I think he's getting there. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the right-hander throws, fouled back onto the screen. And that right there, I mean, that's fastball 97. It's just hard to get on top of that thing.
And that was in the middle of the plate.
Yeah.
He's not even throwing it yet to the top of the strike zone.
1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1 out base is empty. Bradley from the windup and pitches, got him swinging. Same thing and even ticked up a mile per hour. 98 in the middle of the plate. He blows away Christopher Morel for 2 men retired.
If that doesn't show Taj Bradley how good his stuff plays, that's a thigh-high fastball. That's usually the perfect spot for a power hitter to lean into one, but he couldn't come close to getting on top of that.
2 out, nobody on, and here's a guy that certainly got into one yesterday in Cody Bellinger. Left-hand batter taking 2 high, ball 1. Bellinger driving in 3 runs with a home run and turning the game around from down 2-1 to leading 4-2. And they held on for the 4-3 victory. On 1-0, he swings and misses, and he's had multi-hit games in each of the first 2 games in this series, and had done that in the last 2 games against Cincinnati, so he is one of their hotter hitters. Cody Bellinger, a return visit to the Cubs on a 3-year deal after having a fine season last year in Chicago. Bradley pitches 1-1, breaking ball that seemed to slip out of his hands and go high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike.
This is where the Rays have had trouble in this series so far. 2 out. The Cubs are 14 for 32 with 2 out in this series. Wow, that makes no sense.
2-1. Bradley sends it in. Strike 2 called. It's 2-2.
And now 5 for 43 until there are 2 out. So with none or 1 out, they're not getting anything going, and they're doing everything with 2 down.
Think of it. That's against what we've learned, right? In the game. Here's the 2-2 delivery. He's low. Full count 3-2. Well, the Cubs went down in order in only 2 innings yesterday, both against the starter Savali. They threatened all night long. Here's the 3-2 delivery from Bradley to Bellinger. Swung on and fouled back. Now, that's a hard pitch to even do what Bellinger just did. 98 at the letters and fouled it back. 3-2.
You can tell he's fairly locked in right now with what he did yesterday against Garrett Clevenger in there to get to that high fastball of Bradley.
And another 3-2 pitch from Bradley. Swing, ground ball left side and through. Base hit into left center field for Cody Bellinger. A single. You know, I saw a note on Bellinger just how good of a 2-strike hitter he is. I mean, think he hit the home run on 2 strikes yesterday. It's an opposite field single today. You know, there's only one other hitter in the league that has a better 2-strike average than Cody Bellinger, and it's Luis Ariz, who's 299 with 2 strikes. Bellinger's in the 260s. Shows you how special Ariz is and what he can do, but Bellinger not that far behind.
And another 2-out hit for the Cubs.
Oh, my gracious. And here is right-hand batting Seiya Suzuki, who homered yesterday, and he looks at a first pitch strike. It's 0-1. So the Cubs have their first hit, and Bellinger runs very well. 3 steals, and let's not forget, the Cubs stole 6 bases yesterday, but it's a different game with Bradley on the hill. He holds runners and is very quick to the plate more than anything. He pitches outside with a 4-seam fastball. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
It shows you that if you're a power pitcher, and Taj is a power pitcher, you can learn to keep runners close. We always hear it's harder with power pitchers. He's athletic. He can do it. Other guys can too.
1 ball, 1 strike. Lau at second, playing just to the right of the bag, and the pitch high and away 2-1. I find it interesting, Neil, that Taj is young and rather inexperienced compared to many of the other pitchers on the staff, and yet he's the one that can control the running game. I think some of the Rays pitchers could learn from Taj on getting a little bit quicker to the plate. It makes a difference. 2 balls and a strike, and a swing and a miss at the off-speed down, and it is even at 2-2. 6 for 6 in steals yesterday. That's tough to stomach, because you walk a guy and suddenly that turns into an extra base hit.
I think quite fortunate it didn't affect the outcome of the game, or didn't affect the scoreboard.
2 balls, 2 strikes, although it did make the Rays pitchers throw a lot more pressure. 2-2 pitch, hit foul down the right field line. Way back out of play, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, it may not impact the scoreboard, but all these extra pitches mean a long inning for Taj Bradley. And at some point, I think the Rays have to start to get some deeper outings from their starting pitchers. These 20, 25 pitch innings in the first really hurt you in the long run.
On 2-2, Bellinger short lead at first. Suzuki swings and misses, strike 3. Tell you, the splitter was his best friend there. The right-on-right splitter from Bradley to Suzuki helped him get that strikeout and get him back in the count and through the first. We go to the last half with Justin Steele coming to the mound at Chicago 0, and the
owner of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Pitching preview from Canes Furniture, quality selection value that's the confidence of Canes. For the most part, Justin Steele, a fastball slider pitcher. Last time out, he was pretty good, and he's kept his team in games, but still winless so far in the young season.
And Yandy Diaz lifts the first one out of play down the right field line, and 0-1. An all-star a year ago, and you look at his arsenal, I mean, it's very high percentage fastball slider. Not a whole lot of trickery for Justin Steele. I mean, that's about 89%. Fastballs and sliders. And there's a fastball that Yandy fouls back, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. 11th year in the Cubs organization, the only system he's ever known. He could have gone to the University of Southern Mississippi, but ended up signing with the Cubs out of high school. Diaz slices one out of play to the right side. 5th round pick in 2014, George County High School in Lucedale, Mississippi. No balls, 2 strikes. Diaz, Arozarena, and Brandon Loud. And Steele pitches. Swing ground ball past Brady Williams at third. And now he comes over to pick up the carom. Michael Johns coaching at first. Yandy has the most hits of any Ray on the homestand. He has 10 hits on the homestand. What has generally been an underwhelming offensive homestand for the Rays as a whole. Yandy takes slider, bouncing in, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
All the hits, though, are singles. And while he's hit a couple balls really hard, you still want to see him start driving the baseball, as we've said, really for the entire group.
It happens every so often where he gets a little air under it and it looks like, okay, that's the Yandy of a year ago. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch is swung on and missed, strike 3. Foul tip held on to by Yan Gomes, and there's the first out as Steele gets his first punch out.
You mentioned Gomes behind the plate. Third baseman tonight, Patrick Wisdom. At short is Nico Horner. At second, Michael Bush and Cody Bellinger at first. Mike Tauchman, Pete Crow Armstrong, Seiya Suzuki left to right in the outfield.
Well, now nobody on for Randy Arozarena. Starting his first game of the series, he pinch hit in each of the first 2 games. Thankfully, the hamstring is doing better. And the first pitch to him is right there for a strike on 1. Right-hand batting Arozarena with 8 homers and 20 batted in, but leads the team in walks. 9 doubles also, but still hitting only 174 for the year. 8 takes, too low. And 1 ball, 1 strike. An all-star a season ago was Justin Steele, and the Cubs won a large majority of his games a year ago. There's a swing and a little 2-hopper right back to the mound. Hopping off the front slope of the hill to get it is Steele, and he throws to first for 2 down. 2 out, no one on, and leaves it for Brandon Loud.
Getting off to fast starts for the Rays has just been quite a challenge. Rays have yet to score in the first inning on this homestand, and already 2 quick outs.
Well, here's Brandon Loud, the one lefty in the order tonight. And you can understand why. Lefty's hitting only 152 against Justin Steele this season. First pitch to Brandon is taken high ball 1. Yeah, last year the Cubs in his 30 starts were 19-11. And they ended up holding on to him at the deadline. Some thought that they might trade Steele. The pitch is high and in, 2 balls, no strikes. Cubs really weren't going anywhere as it turned out. They did miss postseason though by a game. This year they've lost 7 of his 8 starts, which was on him a bit in May, but certainly not lately. He's pitched well, just the defense is completely bagged out on him. There's a check swing. It's a cold strike at the bottom of the zone with a slider, and it's 2-1. And that's really something. 8 runs, but 6 unearned. His last 3 starts, he's been very, very good. 2 balls and a strike. The left-hander pitches, lifted out of play into the upper deck off third. And 2 balls, 2 strikes to count to Brandon Loud. Yeah, I remember watching the first game of the year. He was the opening day starter when he hurt his hamstring. It was on opening day. He went to field, little ground. I forgot if it was a bunt or not, but Leody Taveras, it was either a bunt or one of those swinging bunts. And the hamstring went out, and he missed quite a while and had to rehab his way back. So he didn't make it back to the Cubs rotation until May 6th. So he missed all of April. And it was rough going for a while, but he's been excellent lately. And the 2-2 to Lau, swung on a miss to the slider, strike 3 to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down go the Rays. On we go to the second. Cubs and Rays scoreless on the Rays Radio Network.
Did you know the most successful teams...
Libera tu espíritu ganador. Apuestas deportivas y cientos de juegos de casino. Disfruta de pagos en minutos, una plataforma segura y atención personalizada en todo momento. Pronostica, diviértete y lleva tu pasión al siguiente nivel. Betcris.
Rafaela with a fly ball to right field, tagging up. It'll be Yoshida. He will scamper in to score. And there's a shot down the line. He hooks that one all the way to the track.
They have a day, Sadon. Double, then clears them.
And that ball is out of here. What a day for Sadon Rafaela. There's a drive. That one sucked. Dahlbeck will score. 7 RBIs for Sadon Rafaela.
King Tuck with a 3-home run game.
How about Kyle Tucker tonight? Big night for the King.
Kyle Tucker tonight, 3 home runs, 4 runs batted in.
Payoff is crushed. Deep center off the top of the batter's eye.
First pitch, center field. Frelick was deep coming on. He slides, he gets by. De La Cruz can fly. He storms to second. Churio gathers into the track. Windmill is on. Relay to the plate. De La Cruz save!
I don't know if it gets any more exciting.
We head to the second inning at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg. Michael Busch starts it off for the Cubs against Taj Bradley, and a first pitch called strike on the inside portion around the knees, and it's 0-1. With Neil Solondz, I'm Andy Freeberg. Glad you're with us. Chris Adams-Wall is our partner tonight as well. The pitch is bounced in. 1 ball and 1 strike. He'll have trivia for us mid-4 today. Middle of the 4th, he'll have his nightly trivia contest with us. Chris Miller and Becca Carney with us as well. Max Tanzer, Jared Greenspan, and Jason Behringer in our network studios. Swinging a ball wrapped out to second. A routine pickup for Brandon Lau, and a throw to first without any difficulty, and there's 1 out.
The day after the Rays score 6 runs, get 50% off pizzas online at papajohns.com or when you use the Papa John's mobile app with promo code RAYS6. Papa John's, proud sponsor of the Tampa Bay Rays.
There's 1 out, nobody on here in the Cubs second. Brings up Nico Horner. Started yesterday for the first time in a little while with a right hand fracture. And he'll be playing with that as it heals. It is not required a stint on the injured list. He swings and grounds one over the bag at second. Waiting right behind it is Brandon Lau. A sidearm throw, 2 quick outs. And that'll leave it for the powerful Patrick Wisdom. Wisdom appeared as a pinch hitter yesterday. We didn't see him in game 1. Yesterday was a pincher, got hit by a pitch.
That was probably the biggest moment of the game because it forced Cody Bellinger to bat against Garrett Clevenger.
It sure was. All right, here's Wisdom with 2 out, nobody on. And he takes fastball strike on the outside 0-1. Tonight they put Wisdom at third, and he sometimes plays outfield. They put Morel as the DH. So Morel, it might even get him an extra at bat today. They take him out for defense. Lee's late. There's the cutter, and it's low and outside to right-handed batting Patrick Wisdom, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
They don't really have a good option defensively at third base right now. It's been one of their weaker spots.
Well, they're hoping and banking on Morel getting better over there. Here's a swing and a foul back to our right out of play, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. But I think that's tough. If your best power hitter, you got to take him out late in games. At least Craig Counsell must feel that way, and the Cubs overall, because of being a defensive liability. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Wisdom. Bradley from the windup and pitches, check swing, and no swing. And the pitch is a little high also, apparently. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Pretty darn close, though. I mean, that's where Alex Jackson wanted it.
Fastball at 97. And Bradley down the hill with a 2-2. There's a swing and a miss, strike three. Follow that fastball with a splitter at 91. How's that for an arsenal? 1, 2, 3 go the Cubs. Now the last half of the second coming up. Cubs and Rays scoreless on the...
There it is, 2000, a milestone moment for a Pittsburgh icon back home.
How good is it that they can enjoy that here in Pittsburgh?
Man, it's hard to even speak right now. What a beautiful thing.
What a wonderful achievement for Andrew McCutchen. 2,000 career hits, and to do that in a Pirate uniform.
That's what means the most right there.
Smash to right center. First big league hit, and here he goes. Lightning speed. De La Cruz up to second. A stand-up double. That was 112 off the bat.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This kid is electric. First career double, first career base hit. Anticipation to see what...
Oh, goodness! That ball had a family! In game 2, his first home run. A 2-run bomb.
John, that wasn't just a home run. That ball almost exited the ballpark.
The hardest hit ball by a Red this year. It brought everyone to their feet.
There's a ball driven in deep left field, up and gone to the home run court. Jose Ramirez, home run number 7. There's another long fly ball. Deep center field.
Rays to Texas for the 2024 All-Star Game. Select guys like Paredes will start the second, and the rest of your Rays on the 2024 MLB All-Star ballot. Vote Rays today. RaysBaseball.com/vote.
Bottom of the second inning, and Paredes will lead it off against Justin Steele, and the first fastball is down low for ball 1. I think one of the big differences for Steele over these last 3 outings, where he has apparently turned his season around, is that he's kept the ball in the ballpark. Here's a strike on the outside. It's 1-1. He gave up all 6 of his homers in the first handful of starts, none over his last 3. So that's not a coincidence. Keep the ball in the yard, you have a much better shot to win games. Swinging a slow grounder towards short. Into his left is Nico Horner. Cutting in front of the bag at second, and an off-balance flip retires Paredes. And there's the first out here in the second.
I don't mean to oversimplify the game today, but as good as pitching is, as good as the athletes are, you take a look around baseball. If you hit a lot of homers and don't allow a lot, you're good. And if it's the opposite, you're usually not.
You know, Neil, there's been a lot of differences between last year and this year for the Rays. As Amed Rosario takes a strike, it's 0-1. That's got to be the biggest one, right? Or maybe the most impactful one. You think of the Rays lead the league in home runs allowed. Last year, they allowed the second fewest. I mean, it's hard to combat that. Swinging a harder grounder, but still to short. Horner playing back on it, throws out Rosario for 2 away.
Well, you've got 5 batters. Nothing's been hit out of the infield yet.
Something else to note, and this is in tandem with what we were witnessing yesterday with the Cubs stealing 6. This year, the Rays have allowed the most homers and the second most amount of stolen bases. So that's just so much offense to be allowed by the opponents. And then the Rays are last in the league in hitting homers. I mean, just an amazing difference from year to year. Siri with a wild swing loses his balance in the count 0-1. Siri had a very large impact on the game yesterday with his glove and a couple of plate appearances. A hustle double that looked like a single off the bat. He turned it into 2, and then homered later on. Here's a check swing. That hit his bat, or no, that did not hit his bat. It's a ball low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jose now 7 home runs, which is 3rd on the Rays behind Paredes and Arozarena. Here he swings and hits one over the screen and foul down to the lower deck, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
The homer he hit last night was his first this year on a slider. All the others have come on a fastball. Last year it was kind of the opposite. He hit a lot of home runs on the slider and not the fastball.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Siri. Still, though, the average 192 at the moment. But when he hits it, he becomes impactful. When the pitch bounces in, it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. I still think his at-bats are better now than they were, say, a month ago.
I'd agree.
I mean, I think his at-bats are better, or Rosarena's at-bats are better. But you do get to a point where we're not quite to the halfway point, but I think we'll hit it or close to it on the road trip. 2-2. Siri starts to go and holds back, and it's low, 3-2.
Well, he's still got, I think 5 strikeouts for every walk. And for me, even if you're a power hitter, I think you'd like to be like 1-3. And he's not hitting for enough power for him to strike out as much as he is.
I think we've seen the impact of the lack of walks for the Rays offense. Swinging a line drive foul by first. And it's one of those things, Neil, I think, at least for me, I've noticed it more because it's not there. I think I took it for granted, for example, in last year's team. What an impact that has.
Amazing impact. And I think beyond that, for Jose, when he gets on base, he can impact the game with the running game, too. And he just hasn't been on base the last several weeks enough.
Now the 3-2 pitch. Swing, slow roller to short. Horner waits for that one, and a quick unload to first gets a speeding Siri. And Horner gets 3 groundouts hit to him throughout the inning. At the end of 2, it's the Rays and the Cubs scoreless on the Rays radio network.
Listen, I've been following you for a while, man. Bottom line is you get your A swing off and generate a lot of pop.
I just want to go.
I'm getting
barrel.
this A to B.
Oh, man. Straight to the ball, barrel. Hitting the ball is the hardest thing to do. I'm a person from 0-0. I'm looking for spin. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to look for spin, but I'm going to time up a fastball. 0-0. If you spin it, I'm swinging. Like, if you spin it in the middle, I'm going to destroy it.
Now it's time for Eyes on the Ball Player. Can you find Aaron Judge in this sea of Yankee fans?
That one is drill. A Judgian blast. That is absolutely crushed. Judge is doing it again. Santa Maria. And it is going to be caught by Judge. How about that? So much fun to watch.
And there he is. Now it's time for Eyes on the Ball Player. Can you find Manny Machado in this sea of Padres fans?
To share the Light Fund, helping our neighbors in need. Learn more at duke-energy.com/Brighton Lives. And we go to the third inning with the Rays and the Cubs scoreless. And back for more play-by-play, here is Neil Solon.
All right, thanks very much, Andy. Taj Bradley winds, and his first pitch is bounced foul off the plate, and the count 0-1. That was a splitter from Taj, and that's been his best pitch so far. As he gets ahead of center fielder and left-hand batter Pete Crow Armstrong in a scoreless game in the third. Paredes in on the turf at third. The pitch is swung and missed. Threw it underneath the hands with the splitter, and it's 0-2. It appears that Taj is taking a little more off the pitch as well. The splitter has been averaging 90, 91 at times during the course of the year, and now we're seeing some 87s and 88s. Bigger separation from that big fastball. 0-2. That's taken inside a heater. Actually, it was a splitter, too, at 91. He's changing speeds with his splitter now, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. The way Pete Crow Armstrong reacted, he almost looked like he thought it was a fastball. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string again and gets the strikeout, and all he threw was splitters the entire sequence. So, a K to begin the inning. That's 4 for Taj Bradley. 1 gone in this scoreless game in the third.
Yeah, I'll bet if we looked at video of Taj from a year ago, and you're seeing fastball, curveball, and now we're just seeing better stuff across the board. A more polished pitcher, and the experience coming with it.
A more confident pitcher as he deals to Yan Gomes right on right. Ground ball hit hard to third, backhanded from deep by Paredes. 1-hop throw to first is in time. He got him. Isak knew a catcher was running, so he was able to set his feet and throw a perfect 1-hop strike to first. So a nifty play, and 2 gone here in the third inning for the top of the order, and Mike Tauchman.
Well, in this field, that's really a perfect throw because the turf I think he put it on the turf right where he wanted it, and they practiced that. That's not an accident. They practiced that, and Yandy was able to pick it cleanly, no problem in any way.
Like Tuchman just used his timeout, like he had dust in his eyes, like the wind's blowing the dust around at home plate. I don't know.
I guess he's getting prepared for being back at Wrigley Field.
Line to center his first turn today, and he takes inside corner for a called strike. Another sharp splitter, nothing in one. Boy, Bradley is relying on that pitch more than I think we've ever seen him do it this year, and so far with just one hit allowed, a ground single and a left by Cody Bellinger in the first. Is a pitch lifted in the air toward left. Lazy fly ball toward the line, and Arozarena on the backhand makes the catch a step or two in fair territory, and that's an easy 1-2-3 for Taj Bradley. He's retired.
Now it's time for Eyes on the Ball Player. Can you find Julio Rodriguez in this photo, Mariners fans?
Yes, indeed. Julio's batting really heating up.
Julio, 3 consecutive hits. He's been on base 4 times tonight. And he's getting hot. Here it comes.
Goodbye, baseball. Julio Rodriguez.
And there he is.
There it is. 2000. A milestone moment for a Pittsburgh icon. Back home.
How good is it that they can enjoy that here in Pittsburgh?
Man, it's hard to even speak right now. What a beautiful thing.
What a wonderful achievement for Andrew McCutcheon. 2,000 career hits, and to do that in a Pirate uniform.
That's what means the most right there.
King Tuck with a 3-home-run game.
How about Kyle Tucker tonight? Big night for the King.
Kyle Tucker tonight, 3 home runs, 4 runs batted in. Smash to right center. First big league hit, and here he goes. Lightning speed. De La Cruz up to second. A stand-up double. That was 112 off the bat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This kid is electric. First career double, first career base hit.
So we go to the home third inning. It's time for our Culver's Curds in the third. If the Rays score here in the third inning, you score free Wisconsin cheese curds from Culver's. So Rays up. And as we go to the home third inning, Rays looking for a base runner. They're first against Steele with Caballero, DeLuca, and Alex Jackson.
Caballero homered his last at bat yesterday. He takes all the way, a fastball high for a ball. Homered off closer Hector Neris, his 4th of the year, giving him 20 RBIs. Jose at third base tonight, or at shortstop tonight, after third base yesterday as he takes a slider for a strike in the count 1-1. So far, not only no base runners for the Rays, nothing hit out of the infield. See if Cabby can change that. He squares, bunts it up the first base side, but it'll go foul. And it's 1-2. It's the right idea. There's not really good execution there. You had the right side of the infield playing way back. And if he just gets it past the pitcher, it's a base hit as well as he runs.
I used to have a player in the minor leagues say to me, and he was a fast runner. He goes, I feel like if I can get it by the pitcher on the right side of the infield, he goes, there's almost no way for them to throw me out. And for a guy like Caballero who runs well, I think that applies for him even though he's a right-handed batter. It's just no man's land. It's a dead spot of the field.
I do like the idea. As a 1-2 is driven foul, right field side out of play, and it's still 1-2. I think the Rays don't try to bunt enough with their speedy athletes for base hits. I'm not one who likes to bunt for sacrifices, but I like the idea of making the defense move. 1-2 again. That's a breaking ball, called strike 3 inside corner at the bottom of the zone. And Caballero down on strikes, and boy, Justin Steele is mowing through the Rays lineup so far. 3 strikeouts and 7 up and 7 down.
That was a strike. We see it on replay. It was definitely a strike, and like we say, there's not much of a mystery with him. Fastball, slider.
Well, he's using both sides of the plate. As Johnny DeLuca takes a fastball high for ball 1. He threw the slider to the outside part, and then I think fooled Caballero by coming in with it.
Well, John Lester was talking about Justin Steele.
As a 1-0 is swung on and missed, a fastball in, 1-1.
I think he saw some similarities between himself and Steele and said, if he can get the fastball down and in to the right, that will open up everything. It'll make his slider better, and so far we've seen it tonight.
1-1 to DeLuca, who's been in a terrible slump. He takes a fastball upstairs for a ball, 2-1. 1 for his last 35 at the plate. Remember how hot he was when he joined the Rays. He had 10 hits, or 10 RBIs in his first 4 games. 2 homers, 14 batted in, and the average now in the 160s. As a breaking ball down and in for a ball. And it's 3 balls and a strike. We haven't seen him get into many advantage counts during this rough stretch. So nice to see him there.
You're seeing it with him. You're seeing it with Pete Crow Armstrong, guys that are very talented that have pretty much accomplished what they need to at AAA. And it's, Crow Armstrong went down, hit 387 with a bunch of homers, so they brought him back up, and it's just a tough league.
As a foul tip into the glove of the catcher Jan Gomes, and it's 3-2. And right now it's that high fastball. Actually, it was more middle to DeLuca, who's known as a guy who gets to the heater. Steele a little deceptive, apparently. Payoff is called strike 3 at the knees, right at the bottom of the zone. And that's a second straight looking strikeout. And that was the fastball at the bottom part. So Steele threw the fastball up early, and now the fastball down, and DeLuca was caught off guard. It's when you can throw, it's all 4 quadrants. It's like 4 pitches. So that's 8 up, 8 down, 4 by strikeout, 4 by ground out. And Alex Jackson waves and misses at a high fastball, 0-1. Is that like kind of 1 by land, 2 by sea, or 4 by ground out, 4 by strikeout? 0-1 on Jackson.
How about 1 if by air here? Somebody getting under it a little bit.
And over the wall.
Yeah.
Swing and a broken bat looper into shallow center. This dropping quickly. It'll fall, base hit. And the Rays are on the board.
That'll work.
So the Rays get the first hit on their side. Hits now even at 1 apiece. And a reminder that every hit is a win with Suncoast. We donate $90 for every Rays hit, and to local nonprofits get the monthly winnings. It's almost like a 2-strike approach for Alex Jackson there. He got it on 1 strike.
The TV got a great close-up. That bat, just a couple little teeny tiny pieces of wood came off the bat there. That's Alex will take it with a base hit.
Yandy Diaz fouls 1 straight back on a high fastball, 0-1.
I would think, too, you're talking about maybe some deception for Steele. Just even that right there, that reaction of Diaz, it's 93, but the hitters are telling you it looks a lot harder than just the 93.
Well, as a team, the Rays have not been hitting the fastball well. As a swing and a miss on another fastball up, and that was like almost a sword-like swing from Yandy Diaz, who has the lowest swing and miss rate on the Rays and one of the lowest in baseball.
In the sport.
In the sport.
I love that you say that.
2 strikes to count. And he struck out his first time. So he's getting swing and miss on Yandy, who doesn't. Pitch is line foul to the right, and it's still 0-2. And there he shortened up, but still, again, was late to a fastball at 93. 2 strikes on Yandy. He's got only like a quarter of his hits for extra bases this year. Last year he hit for a ton of power. Just 4 homers now. Again at 0-2. Check swing and a slider down and in for a ball 1-2. Actually, it was a fastball. It sunk at 94. That looked like a slider the way it moved. It looked like a sharper slider. Talk about deception. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 out. Jackson short lead at first in this scoreless game in the 3rd. Justin Steele offers, and a slider low and in for a ball 2-2. Nice job by Diaz not to go after it.
That one I could see, it looked to me like he picked up on that one. I don't know if Steele slowed the arm speed or if it was noticeable, but Yandy seemed to be very comfortable taking that slider.
Well, Steele's been getting pretty much all outs on the ground that are in play. 2-2 is fouled back, and it's still 2-2. Yandy still has the highest ground ball rate in baseball. That's the reason why the extra base hits have dropped off. There aren't many ground ball doubles you're going to get unless they're right down the line. Especially the way teams now position outfielders. And they have the outfielders swung way over toward right center against Yandy, who has not had that propensity to pull the ball in the air to left. Justin Steele, the lefty at the ready, and another 2-2 to Yandy Diaz. Swinging a chopper off the plate towards short. Easy play. Horner's got it. Flips to first. Gets Yandy Diaz, and the Rays get a hit. They're first, and that's it in the third. Scoreless Rays Cubs after 3 on the Rays Baseball Network.
There's a ball driven in deep left field. Up and gone to the home run court. Jose Ramirez, home run number 7. There's another long fly ball. Deep center field and gone to Souvenir City. Career home run number 200 for Jose. Right field. Rex Snyder back. He's going to wave goodbye. It's the first 3-homer game in the career of Jose Ramirez.
Anticipation to see what...
Oh, goodness! That ball had a family! In game 2, his first home run. A 2-run bomb.
John, that wasn't just a home run. That ball almost exited the ballpark.
The hardest hit ball by a Red this year. It brought everyone to their feet.
You can claim your share of the Race 50/50 charity raffle jackpot. Proceeds support youth programming here in Tampa Bay, so you can win big and support the community. Just visit race5050.com. Nothing as we go to the fourth.
And both teams with the 2-3-4 hitters up in the fourth as Christopher Morel takes a curveball low. And Taj Bradley 1-0. Bradley blew fastballs right by Morel his first time up and then went to the curve here. Morel a homer, is 13th earlier in the series. The pitch. That's way high or way low and outside, and it's 2-0. Infield to pull against Morel, who's driven in 40 to lead the team. Just hitting 208. But he's got a 2-0 count. The pitch. Swinging a ground ball foul toward third. And it's 2-1. Took a little off the fastball. Almost looked like a two-seamer that he ran in underneath the hands. We are really seeing Taj evolve as a pitcher in this his second season in the majors. He kicks and fires 2-1. Swing and a miss. Had Morel way off balance on that right-on-right splitter. It's 2-2.
He loves that splitter tonight. That is really a high percentage pitch for him this evening.
I think he's thrown 16-17 of them already. Is the 2-2. Check swing. It's called strike 3. Through the splitter again, and that's K number 5. One gone in the fourth. Max gives us an interesting note. Taj threw 22 splitters against Baltimore in his last start. His season high is 30. He's way over halfway there now. As he faces Cody Bellinger, who has the only hit for the Cubs. The pitch. Swings and drives it in the air. Deep toward left. DeRozarena, though, with a beat on it. Shy of the track under it. He makes the catch. One pitch, one out. Couldn't get that fastball down from Taj Bradley. Kind of fortunate, though, because that pitch was probably not where you want to put it against Bellinger versus the top of the zone. He got it near the bottom part.
Reminder that normally we do trivia middle of the fifth inning. We're going to do it an inning earlier tonight, so we'll have trivia coming up when the Cubs make out here in the fourth.
Seiya Suzuki stands in the way of trivia. Right on right. Pitch is taken, bottom of the zone. Fastball strike, 0-1. I've heard Chris Adams-Wall feels if he doesn't get us tonight, he's going to take the whole weekend off.
Even if he does get us right, he may celebrate all weekend.
0-1. Curveball for a called strike, and it's 0-2. 2 out, 2 strikes, and a scoreless game of the fourth. Who's going to blink first, Bradley or Steele? They both have been really sharp. The right-hander, third base side of the rubber. Kicks and now fires. Swinging a foul to the right. Suzuki way late to the heater. 97 from Bradley, and it's still 0-2.
97, and it wasn't a strike. I mean, that was a lot of help there by Suzuki. That thing was up around his neck.
Suzuki a homer yesterday. The pitch, that's taken low, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes, another splitter. I would assume Suzuki playing in Japan probably got used to seeing a lot of 2-strike split-fingered fastballs. It's a norm in Japan. It's a 1-2. That's bounced in. Threw it again, and this one kind of overthrew it at 92, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Suzuki 2 for 10 in this series, with, again, one of the 2 a homer, his 4th in the last 2 weeks. Right fielder waiting. Here it comes. Check swing. He went too far, and a ball in the dirt. Strike 3. Another sharp splitter from Taj Bradley. He gets his 6th strikeout, and he now has retired 10 in a row. We've got trivia with Chris Adams-Law when we return. Scoreless in the...
Anticipation to see what...
Oh, goodness! That ball had a family! In game 2, his first home run. A 2-run bomb.
John, that wasn't just a home run. That ball almost exited the ballpark.
The hardest hit ball by a Red this year. It brought everyone to their feet.
There's a ball driven in deep left field, up and gone to the home run court. Jose Ramirez, home run number 7. There's another long fly ball. Deep center field, and gone to Souvenir City. Career home run number 200 for Jose. Right field, Ref Snyder back. He's going to wave goodbye. It's the first 3-homer game in the career of Jose Ramirez.
Back and greet us.
Good day, sir.
Yeah, it's one of those. All right, 4 Cub MVPs since Banks won the back-to-back in the late 50s.
All right, I got one for sure.
I got 2 for sure.
All right. Can I give my one first?
Yeah.
As Randy Arozarena steps in and takes a slider for a strike from Justin Steele, 0-1. Andre Dawson won an MVP.
There's a good one.
When on a last-place club, that was a big deal at the time. As the pitch zips in for a bottom-of-the-zone strike, and quickly Arozarena down 0-2 as Steele is easing through this Rays lineup so far with just 1 hit allowed.
Yeah, when he left the Expos and signed with the Cubs right in 87 for like a blank check.
0-2. Up and away for a ball, and it's 1-2.
Well, maybe this is why we're a good pair, because I have 2 others.
Well, I had a second.
Okay.
I thought Chris Bryant, didn't Bryant win an MVP? I'm right on that, right?
All right. Well, then I feel pretty good about where we're headed, because
as a swing and a miss, strike 3, and Arozarena down on strikes. And boy, I don't think any of the hitters feel good about where things are headed in the scoreless game in the 4th.
All right, so you've got Dawson in 87, and Bryant was at 16. I'm not sure.
I think it was 16. I thought. I could be wrong in the year. He didn't ask for the years, so I just know it was in the heyday of the Cubs. As Brandon Lau takes outside, the only lefty in the Rays lineup, 1-0.
I feel really good about my 2, Neil. We may have run the table here.
Ooh.
And I tell you, the 2 that you thought of, I hadn't thought of. Well done.
1-0. Swing and a line drive into center, sinking quickly. Crow Armstrong slides, though, and makes the catch. That's the hardest hit ball of the night. It was hit on the screws, and Crow Armstrong covered some ground to make the play. 2 down in the Rays' 4th in this scoreless affair.
Yeah, lefty and lefty, that's not easy to do, and Brandon Lau hit it at about 108, but for an out. All right, here's my 2. Ryan Sandberg won in 84.
That's a good one.
For the Cubs. And then the year of the home run chase, I think Sosa won the MVP that year, not McGuire. If memory serves. 98.
Isaac Paredes takes a called strike, 0-1. So our answers then would be Dawson, Sandberg, Sosa, and Bryant.
That's our guesses.
As a swing and a little nubber back to the mound, handled by Steele. He's going to take his time, flip to first, and the Rays go quickly and quietly again in the fourth. Each team with no runs on one hit so far. So a whole lot of nothing or a whole lot of dominance by starting pitching.
Now it's time for Eyes on the Ball Player. Can you find Francisco Lindor in this photo of Mets fans?
This is Mr. Smile.
He's got 31 flares and shoes.
This is a dynamic, charismatic player.
Plays every day. A consistent shortstop.
Brilliantly done by Lindor.
Playing Gold Glove defense.
Great stuff by Lindor. Base hit, and the Mets win it. Lindor.
And there he is.
Anticipation to see what.
Oh, goodness! That ball had a family! In game 2, his first home run. A 2-run bomb.
John, that wasn't just a home run. That ball almost exited the ballpark.
The hardest hit ball by a Red this year. It brought everyone to their feet.
Left field. McCormick back. It's over his head. The Guardians walk it off. Chill Will Brennan gives the Guardians their only lead of the night. And it only took 14 innings to get there. His first career walk-off hit will be one to remember.
Today for the Sunburst Invitational MLB The Show tournament for the opportunity to get a share of a $10,000 cash prize. Free to eligible participants 13 and older. For more info, go to raysbaseball.com/gaming. Scoreless in the fifth. Back with the play-by-play, Andy Freed.
Thank you very much, Neil. And a first pitch too high to left-hand batting Michael Busch. And 1-0. Bradley returns. Swing and a miss. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. We just got a text from Chris Adams Wall. I don't think he'd mind if we read the text.
Yeah, why not?
On 1-1, Bradley throws fastball low and inside. He says he is truly both mystified and touched by our collaborative 50-50 effort. Teamwork makes the dream work. We got trivia right, Neil, and he's taking the weekend off.
All right.
There's a swing and a line drive to short off the attempt of Caballero down to center field. Just nicked off his glove. I guess they'll rule base hit for Michael Busch. But honestly, though, far be it for me to say, maybe I just got spoiled last night in seeing Taylor Walls. I kind of thought it was fieldable.
An elite shortstop makes that play, and Taylor Walls is an elite shortstop. Well, I think that Caballero let that ball play him a little bit by backing up on it.
Well, the Rays have been very well served with Caballero at shortstop, but it's interesting. We just got to look at that play again from behind the plate. Now, he's setting his lower half, I'm sure, in part to make the throw. But he moved out of the way of the baseball. And here is Nico Horner, right-hand batter, that takes a strike on 1. In other words, that ball was kind of hit right at him. He took a little step to the right to play it off to the side, maybe to make it easier on the throw, but it ends up being ruled a hit. And up comes Nico Horner with a count 0-1. And Bradley throws fastball high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You talk about a big moment now. I mean, here's the Cubs' chance. You got a scoreless game. Neither team has any momentum. That's a big play at this point, and Taj's got to pitch around it.
In a pitcher's duel, defense tends to play a very large role on 1-1. Bradley holds and pitches. Line drive right field, base hit. Horner with a hit to the opposite field, and the Cubs have 2 on, nobody out here in the 5th inning. Nico Horner slicing it to the opposite field. That was not particularly hard hit, but he found the open space, and the Cubs have 1st and 2nd, but nobody out.
First ball was well struck. That was not. And now it's Taj, who's gotten his swing and miss, almost needs a ground ball at somebody in a Columbia blue jersey.
Well, let's see. Patrick Wisdom struck out on a splitter his first time up. He's a power hitter. Surprisingly, only 3 homers this year. He shows bunt, bunts it in the air. First base side, fair ball. Diaz has it, goes to chase Wisdom down, back towards the plate. He's backing up. Yandy is walking towards him, and he tries to go around him, but Yandy makes the out. Yandy had him boxed in, but it's a sac bunt that is successful. Bush to third, Horner to second.
I'll say this right now, with Pete Crow Armstrong having not had good swings his last time up, don't be surprised if he tries to do the same. This is a hard pitch to bunt. It's up and in, and he was able to get it down. I think the Rays have to be prepared for the Cubs to play for one here.
The infield all the way in. This is when Bradley would love to get the punch out.
Again, watch for the bunt.
You bet. I agree. Bradley's first one. He squares and bunts at third base side. Paredes has it. Coming home. The tag by Jackson, and he dropped the baseball. And it's 1-0 Cubs as Bush scores. To third base goes Horner.
The Rays were ready for it. They did the right thing. I don't know that I like the backhand flip by Paredes, but the tag's got to be made there. For me, that's just that's an error. And that's 2 plays that should have been made this inning behind Taj.
Paredes came charging in. Little shuttle pass towards the plate. Jackson had the ball in plenty of time and he just muffed it. He did not catch the baseball. And that's an out to be had at the plate. And now the Rays trail 1-0.
And it's not like he lost it on contact. He lost it before the play was even made, before there was a chance to get the tag down.
E2. That is the right ruling. I mean, if that's an assist and an error, is that a sac bunt? No
fielder's
RBI.
choice. No, fielder's choice. Because it can't be a successful sacrifice if it wasn't good enough to get the lead runner, the runners up.
Well, we can see on the replay what happened, too. He looked away. I mean, the runner was coming in, and the ball was just about to his mitt, and he quickly looked at the runner, taking his eye off the baseball, and then could not catch it. So it's 1-0 Cubs, and first and third for Chicago. And the batter is JUN Gomes.
Too many times the defense has just let the Rays down this year.
And here is Gomes, right-hand batting veteran catcher. And there's another bunt towards third base. Picked up by Jackson. The run scores. Throw to first in time. Down to third goes Crow Armstrong. And it's 2-0 Chicago. 3 straight bunts by the Cubs.
It's a bunt and run. And there, Bradley's got to do a better job of keeping an eye on Crow Armstrong and not allowing him to get that kind of running start. He took off on first move and not allowed him to go first to third in addition to the run scoring. I think the other thing is, with the possibility of a bunt, why not try a pitch out in that spot where he can't get the bunt down?
Well, it's a man at 3rd and 2 away when the Cubs have had only 1 ball leave the infield, and it was on a little flare. And here's Mike Tauchman, fly to center and fly to left. And Bradley's first pitch to him, check swing bunt. Not really a bunt, but a check swing, and it looked like, a half swing. The ball just ran into the bat. A swinging bunt. The count is 0-1. Well, I bet you can count on one hand the amount of times in this last generation that there's been a team to bunt 3 straight times. And look what it's gotten. It's gotten 2 runs in.
On 3 straight pitches.
That's right. The 1-strike delivery on the way to Tauchman. Fastball, there's a strike. It's 0-2.
By my count, all runs in this inning should be unearned because he had a sacrifice, then an error, and then another bunt attempt that was the 3rd out. So you should have had 3 straight bunts for 3 straight outs and no run scoring.
0-2, the count to Tauchman. 0 for 9 in the series. Here's Bradley's pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out on 3 pitches. And an odd inning, but it definitely benefits the visitors. At the end of 4 1/2, it's Chicago 2 and Rays 0. We go now to Chris Adams Wall.
All right, thanks very much, Andy. I'm here with...
win. A milestone moment for a Pittsburgh icon back home.
How good is it that they can enjoy that here in Pittsburgh?
Man, it's hard to even speak right now. What a beautiful thing.
What a wonderful achievement for Andrew McCutchen. 2,000 career hits, and to do that in a Pirate uniform.
That's what means the most right there. Anticipation to see what...
Oh, goodness! That ball had a family! In game 2...
Against Taj Bradley in the 5th, and now Justin Steele has some runway ahead. We'll see if the Rays can find an answer.
Well, Steele has retired, 12 of the 13 batters faced. And see if the Rays can match the Cubs. And first pitch, fastball strike on the inside to Ahmed Rosario, and it's 0-1. Then Siri, then Caballero for the Rays. And we just have to point it out, the defense for the Rays this year has just been, it's just been subpar. There's a swing and a foul tip, and the count is 0-2.
Entering the day, 29th out of 30 teams according to defensive run save metrics. And they've always been, when they've been good, a top 10 team.
Oh, that's the bread and butter of the Rays. The pitch is a slider too low, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And how about the day that the day Taylor Walls is not out there? You start the inning with a ball that could have been played. It scored a hit, but
2-2 the count. Rosario's gone from 0-2 to even. And the pitch grounded once again right to short. Nico Horner awfully busy tonight, and he throws the first for the out, 1 away. 1 gone here in the 5th inning, and up comes Jose Siri.
It's been a lot of rollover ground balls. In fact, the only non-rollover approach was Brandon Lau last time up when he lined up a ball to center field.
And hit it hard. But it went for an out. There's 1 gone here in the 5th, and now Jose Siri, and he grounded a short his only time. Steele's first one, swing and a miss. The breaking ball down, and it's 0-1. Rays have gone down in order in the 1st, and the 2nd, and the 4th. They had a 2-out single by Alex Jackson in the 3rd. That's it. Here's the line drive caught by Horner at short. Guy's got a magnet on him tonight, and everything being hit his way. And 2 out, bases empty for Jose Caballero.
Hit reasonably hard, 93 off the bat, but really still didn't get a lot behind it.
I thought off the bat, though, that maybe he had looped it over him. But nope, Horner was up to the task, and with 2 out, bases empty. Jose Caballero throws him by a slider for a looking strikeout his first time. 2-0 Chicago, 5th inning. And Caballero takes too low, 1-1. Steele works from the center of the rubber, and it looks like he works out of the set, out of every pitch. This one is fouled back, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. It may be just the slightest bit of a line, but it's extremely simple looking delivery from Justin Steele. He looks into his veteran catcher Jan Gomes and comes to him. Swing and a miss, slider with the dirt. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, this second time through, and I don't think the swings the second time through are much better than the first, other than Lau and maybe Siri, their last AB.
Well, it's going to be up to the Rays pitchers to keep this thing close. I mean, that's about all they can do at this point. Try to hope then that this offense can figure something out. Caballero chased one and just barely nicked it. Foul at the plate. Took a bite out of Jan Gomes, the catcher. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, we're going to Atlanta following the game tonight. An early morning arrival for the Rays. With Zach Littell against Chris Sale tomorrow night. The Braves winning today, beating the Orioles 6-3 in Baltimore. Letting a 4-0 lead get down to 4-3, but they got 2 in the 9th and put it away. As Atlanta won. Caballero pulls it along 3rd foul. We have 3 different game times over the weekend. 7:20 tomorrow, 4:10 on Saturday, 1:35 on Sunday. Well, we're still on the air tomorrow at 6:30.
We are.
For a 7:20 first
We got to work extra.
Yeah, in Atlanta. Caballero swings and just barely nicks another one straight back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, Chris Sale has had quite a renaissance with the Atlanta Braves. We'll see him tomorrow. He's 8-2 on the year. Looks to be a National League All-Star. Zach Littell has pitched better than the 2-4 record that he is currently sporting. And the 1-2 pitch grounded out to third. Routine play for Patrick Wisdom, and it's throw to first a little wide, but Bellinger stays on the bag, coming across it to retire the side. And it's 15 out of 16 today retired by Justin Steele. And now we go to the sixth. 2-0 Cubs on the Rays radio.
Can you find Pete Alonso in this sea of Mets fans?
And Alonso drives one deep left field, and it's out of here. Pete Alonso with his second home run of the day. Pete Alonso keeps on raking. Just very strong.
And there he is.
I am a Philadelphia Philly. I am a St. Louis Cardinal. I am a Toronto Blue Jay. I am a Cincinnati Red. I am a National Baseball Hall of Famer.
There's a ball driven in deep left field, up and gone to the home run court. Jose Ramirez, home run number 7. There's another long fly ball. Deep center field, and gone to Souvenir City. Career home run number 200 for Jose. Right field, Ref Snyder back. He's going to wave goodbye. It's the first 3-homer game in the career of Jose Ramirez.
Notice Gurriel. That ball's hit well into left field. That one is way back there. And Gurriel goes deep. Back-to-back home runs for the Diamondbacks. The Snakes are alive here in this second inning. Gurriel with his second home run of this postseason. And it's 2-0 Arizona.
Here he gets a 1-1 sinker. Tried to get that sinker coming in.
Gurriel with his 5th hit of this LCS. Got the best hair going in the postseason.
Let's pause for station identification on the Rays Baseball Network.
We head to the top of the 6th inning, and Christopher Morel with a check swing bouncer foul along third. And it's 0-1 with Neil Solondz. I'm Andy Freed. Chris Miller, Becca Carney, our engineers, or our producer and engineer. They're doing a little of both tonight. And Max Tanger with us in the booth. Jared Greenspan as well. Chris Adams-Wall always with us until tomorrow. He's going to get a weekend off. He does have a life, outside of trying to stumble some trivia. And Jason Behringer back in the network studios on 1-1. It's a hard swing and a fastball miss. Wow. That was power to power, 96 up. And what a swing by Morel. Just blew it by him. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's already struck out Morel swinging and looking. And he takes fastball outside, 2-2. Morel to be followed by Bellinger and Suzuki here in the Chicago 6th. They lead the Rays 2-0. And a swing and a roller right to third. Taken on an extra hop by Paredes, and a bad throw is dug out by Diaz. And then a light collision between Morel and Diaz, and then they exchanged pleasantries. It was accidental. That was not a good throw by Paredes, and Diaz bailed him out. I don't think that one he was trying to bounce it in. I don't think so.
It was almost like he kind of got caught in between and then dropped his arm angle a little bit.
But they got the out, 1 away for Cody Bellinger. Single to left and fly to left. And why is Bellinger... Did somebody call time? The clock is still ticking down. I don't know what is stopping play here. It doesn't appear to be a pitch-com issue. Jackson's pointing out at Bradley. Bellinger stepped out of the box. And I think it had to do with the fact that Taj might have wanted a new baseball, but they're going to charge him with a violation, I would think.
It was working. It was working.
You can hear that's Dan Iasonia saying it was working. In other words, the pitch-com was working, but Kevin Cash is coming out and has something to say to Dan Iasonia.
He still threw the pitch before 0. Why is there a violation?
He said, I'm reading Kevin Cash's lips. He said he stuffed off the mound with 11 seconds and said, I can't hear. And home plate umpire Iasonia was saying, well, then throw. Well, Bradley then stepped and threw the ball in, which I guess doesn't count as a pitch.
But isn't Bellinger supposed to be in the box at 8? He wasn't in the box.
No, he wasn't either. That was a very confusing moment.
So why are you penalizing the pitcher when the hitter wasn't ready either?
That's a fair point. I think it's going to be 1 ball and no strikes, so a pitch timer violation. from Bradley. What a weird moment. And now the 1-0 deal to Bellinger, swung on and fouled back to even it up. 1 ball and 1 strike. And I was looking and go, why aren't they playing here? The clock continued to run. They're showing it to us over and over again.
Bellinger's out of the box the whole time. He should be facing the pitcher, ready to go.
By the 8-second mark, there's a swing and a foul back, and it is 1-2. Right. So in other words, what you're saying, if the clock was still rolling and no time was called, Bellinger was the one that stepped out. So why does Bradley get the violation?
To me, it should be like we are on the playground. Do over.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Bradley's pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Little cheater's proof, and that's 8 strikeouts for Taj Bradley.
And by the way, if the Rays do strike out 10 in a home game, go to any Cane's Furniture store within 5 days. Receive a Tijuana Flats coupon, CaneStrikeout.com. Obviously, the Rays need 2 more right now.
All right, with 2 out, nobody on, up steps Seiya Suzuki. And the first pitch to Suzuki is taken inside. 1 ball and no strikes.
They're right there.
You're going to kill me over here. 1 ball and Chris has names for things that, I don't know, they just come from the wilds of Wisconsin. The pitch just popped up high in the air, foul. Off to our right, it's somewhere up in the dome. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, during, the time when Bellinger was stepping out of the box, he turned and covered up 1 nostril on him. A little snot rocket action coming out there. Now the 1-2 pitch. More than a little. That was impressive. This one's low, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Kind of gross. Forget impressive.
Very gross. At least he did it into the dirt and not onto the turf where it has nowhere to go. Bradley pitches, swung on and fouled straight back, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. He just did it so nonchalantly, too. And I didn't see it until they showed it on the replay.
Oh, I saw it.
Did you see it in live action?
I did.
Wow.
Tried not to look.
To clear out the pipes. 2-2 the count to Suzuki. And the pitch from Bradley is a little bit high, but a fastball, full count, 3-2.
Do not try that in the booth.
No, let us know where to go.
You got a garbage can behind you, but still don't try it.
And a recycling bin. 3-2 the count to Suzuki. Here's Bradley's pitch. And he walked him. He's too low, and that's his first walk of the game. All right, so a 2-out walk to Seiya Suzuki extends the inning for Michael Busch. 2-0 Chicago's 6th inning. And really the pressure is on Taj here because the Rays aren't close yet against Justin Steele, and I know it shouldn't be that way. The pitchers, in fact, Taj, I remember his last outing said, I'm not paying attention to the score. I'm just trying to go, pitch to pitch, batter to batter. But how can you not? You know the team's having a hard time scoring. It's a swing and a foul left side out of play. And 0-1.
Well, quite frankly, it should be a 0-0 game. He gave up 2 unearned runs, and 2 plays in the inning were not made. You gave a team 5 or 6 outs.
No balls and a strike to Michael Busch. 2 out and a runner aboard. Suzuki here in the 6th inning. Bradley from the belt and works. Fouled away again into the upper deck, and it's now 0-2.
I think he's been even better tonight than he was against the Orioles.
I do too. I'm totally with you on that. I think from beginning to what soon will be the end of the night, at some point, I think it's been his best start. I think he's been at his most impressive, and the splitter has been so very impressive tonight. But just no run support. The 0-2 pitch on the way to Busch. Suzuki runs. It's inside and no throw to second base. Did Jackson have no chance to throw? He didn't react to it.
I think he was trying to frame the pitch.
Maybe that's what it was.
I think he thought he had a 3rd strike.
So it's 1-2 and a steal of second. And the pitch is a breaking ball, and he gets rid of him anyway. Snaps the curveball in to retire the side, and the Cubs, in a bit of an odd inning, still do not score. We go to the home 6th. It's Cubs 2, Rays nothing on the Rays Radio Network.
Stirring fiber. You've maintained the same role on the team for a long time, Libra, but you're also willing to go wherever you're most needed. That might mean switching up your position on the field or in the lineup. It could feel unnatural at first, but you're giving yourself the chance to uncover hidden skills that have been lying dormant all along.
Cruz up to second. A stand-up double. That was 112 off the bat.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This kid is electric. First career double, first career base hit.
Now it's time for Who Can It Be? We're going to show you a childhood photo of a big leaguer. Can you guess who it is?
There's a ball driven in deep left field, up and gone to the home run court. Jose Ramirez, home run number 7. There's another long fly ball. Deep center field.
RaysBaseball.com, and remember, the Rays now have 9 strikeouts from Taj Bradley. One more, you get a free taco and chips. Participating area, Tijuana Flats locations. CaneStrikeout.com for more info.
All right, well, it is only 2-0, and we've learned quite well how you keep it close, you still got a chance. What do you look upset?
Why does Justin Steele need to tie his shoes when he comes out for the inning? Didn't he have enough time in between innings to get that done?
Maybe they came on time as he ran to the mound. The pitch is sent in their foul to the right side and out of play, and it's 0-1.
Do they teach these kids to tie their shoes the right way anymore?
Can they go laceless?
I do.
That's right.
Because I never had them tied.
No balls and a strike to DeLuca, who swings and pops one up. Shallow right. Coming in for it is Suzuki, but Michael Busch from second. No, he'll give away to Suzuki and make the catch for the first out here in the 6th inning. Here's Alex Jackson, who is the lone base runner for the Rays tonight. A busted bat flare single to center. This game is looking something like the one Marcus Stroman threw at the Rays last year in Chicago when Bradley faced the Cubs. He threw a one-hit complete game shutout, and the Cubs won 1-0. There's a jam shot that I guess got him in the leg somewhere. It's a foul ball, 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. And the Cubs not much better. In fact, Max Tanzer gets in some great notes, Neil, about the Cubs bunting on 3 straight pitches. 2 of them were recorded as sacrifice bunts. Just the second time in baseball this year that a team has executed 2 successful sac bunts in 1 inning. Pittsburgh did it in their 3rd game of the season. There's a roller foul back of the plate, and it's 0-2. And that came in the 10th inning when bunts can really help you win games.
Well, I think they realized that neither team is hitting. Both starters are dominating. It's almost like the first to 1 wins. So that's kind of the way they played it.
Let's see, though, the Rays have scored against the Cub bullpen each of the first 2 games. In particular, just the one guy, Hector Neris. 0-2 the count, and a check swing ball is low. More on the bunts. The last 5 years, there have been just 11 times where a team has had 2 successful sac bunts in 1 inning. And then he added something even better. First, the 1-2 delivery to Jackson is outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Max tells himself tonight.
Yeah, the last time there were 3 sac bunts in 1 inning, July 23rd, 2011, by the Rangers in the 9th inning against the Toronto Blue Jays. And I'm going to guess they won that game. 2-2 the count. Steele works. Check swing, it's low, and it's 3-2. So good stuff by Max there on all the bunts. It was 3 straight bunts. 1 was an error, so there was no sac. But there were 2 sacks officially on the other ones. Jackson takes low, and Justin Steele can't get out Alex Jackson tonight. Alex has a single and a walk, the only 2 base runners for the Rays. And now they get the tying run to the plate, and this is what can happen when you keep it at just a 2-0 deficit.
Well, the tables have turned, or the turns have tabled again for the Rays.
Let's see.
They've had trouble getting the number 9 hitter on the other side all season, and now their number 9 hitter is on twice.
Yandy Diaz has struck out and grounded to short. 3rd time through the lineup now for Steele, and he issues a first pitch strike on the inside. And 0-1.
He has pitched so effectively in with his fastball and his slider tonight, and really to both sides.
You know, he's been outstanding. No balls and a strike. The left-hander throws. Slider low and in. And 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Jackson at first, not a threat to run. Bellinger holds him. Infield a double play positioning, and this pitch is swung on a miss. Tell you what, Yandy is, and maybe the fact that it's Yandy showing these swings against Steele, it may be showing why the rest of the lineup is having a hard time too.
Well, it doesn't seem like anyone's looking to hit the ball the other way. They're all looking to pull the fastball.
He comes home on 1-2 to Diaz. Swung on and fouled to the screen. Straight back, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now there, Yandy was looking to drive the ball to right center, but he couldn't get on top of it again.
Well, when Doug Wechter taught us about perceived velocity, I'll bet tonight is one of those where 93 is looking a lot harder than that to hitters, because the swings are telling you that. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Diaz takes the low, and that's the other one. He'll drop a slider on you also, but not that time. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And he's really using, it's almost like 4 different fastballs. He's throwing a 2-seamer in and out and a 4-seamer up and down.
2-2 to Yandy Diaz. The tying run and a Rosarena on deck. Rays down 2-0 in the 6th. 1 out, Jackson away at first. And the pitch line deep and foul down the right field line. And back into the spectators. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I think this might be the best crowd of the 3 so far for Rays and Cubs this series on a Thursday night. Getaway day for both clubs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes. Soft looper, shallow center, dropping quickly. It's a base hit. Jackson will stop at second base as Crow Armstrong lobs it back in, and Yandy Diaz got one in the air, and thankfully he didn't hit it that hard. If he hits it hard, probably goes to the center fielder, but instead it's a base hit, 2 on and 1 out.
No, you can't ask for a better situation, right? Randy Rosarena's had better swings. We told you Justin Steele had trouble early this year with the home run ball. You're just hoping he makes a big enough mistake that Randy can take advantage.
Tommy Hotovy, the pitching coach, heads to the mound. And he'll bring the infield in. It's been an average of about 84 pitches per start for Justin Steele, and that's right where he is now at 83 pitches on the night. No activity, however, in their bullpen as of yet.
I got to imagine that Drew Smiley's not available after 2 innings yesterday, and that Hector Neris, who pitched the last 2 nights, probably isn't available either. So that leaves the Cubs bullpen a little bit thinner, and they don't have anyone warming up as of yet.
Well, Tyson Miller threw a lot yesterday, too, so perhaps Wisniewski and Leiter Jr. could be their top 2 relievers tonight. But no need for that yet. Justin Steele, for the first time, however, has 2 men on base against him. At the same time, here's a Rosarena. He's hit a comebacker, and he struck out 0 for 2. Jackson off second, Diaz from first, and the first pitch, swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. 91 in the middle of the plate, and it's 0-1.
Oh, that's that perceived velocity, because Randy's late to it, and most of the Rays hitters are late to that fastball.
No balls, 1 strike. Randy takes slider down and in. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Randy has not had a home run since May 14th at Fenway Park in Boston.
24 games.
He is the go-ahead run. He swings and grounds one to the left side, backhanding his Horner. He goes to third smartly to get the force play. Well done by Nico Horner. Might have been the only play he had, and he gets Jackson. So Diaz to second and a Rosarena to first. It's 2 on and 2 out.
I honestly thought that had a pretty good chance of sneaking through off the bat. Credit Horner for a good jump on that baseball. Again, hard contact, 108 off the bat, but on the ground. The Rays have really only hit 1 hard hit ball in the air, and it was from the guy who's coming to the plate right now.
Well, Brandon Lau did that last time. He fanned his first time on sliders. He's the go-ahead run. The tying runs are aboard. And first pitch, slider low outside for ball 1. The only lefty in the lineup tonight. But the main reason being that only 5 hits allowed to left-handed batters by Steele this year. They're 5 for 35. Lefties are against him this season. Swings and spins it foul left side. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, you hope they make some mistake. Remember, Brandon did capitalize on one by Jesus Luzardo in Miami, a fellow lefty, the last time he saw a lefty starter.
Yeah, and Braxton Garrett, too. All right, 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Lau. Diaz at second, and Rosarena, fast runner at first. And the pitch too high, 2 balls and 1 strike. Brandon is in a 2 for 22 stretch at the plate. One of them, though, being the big home run. The other one being an RBI single on this homestand as well. So he's making the hits count, and he could use one right here. He's ahead 2-1. Swings and grounds one to the right side. To his left, diving is Bush, and no play anywhere. And he throws home to make sure Diaz stays at third, which he would have anyway. It's an infield single for Brandon Lau. Diaz to third, a Rosarena to second, and here comes the Rays home run and RBI leader, Isaac Paredes, with 3 men aboard. Here is a turning point tonight.
Well, there's your 6th hit off the lefty Steele this year, and that's a tremendous play. The Cubs are known, they've got a bottom 5 defense in baseball just like the Rays, but they've made 2 plays in this inning where, remember, the inning that the Rays allowed 2 runs, they didn't make 2 plays. That's right now the difference between 2-0 up or 2-0 down.
Another mound visit, this time by the catcher, Jan Gomes, who by this point is almost like a pitching coach himself. He's been in this league a long time. He's 36 years of age, he'll be 37 in July. All right, so Rays down 2-0 for the first time, making Steele sweat just a little bit. Diaz at third, tying runner Rosarena at second. Lau, the go-ahead run, is at first. Nobody warming in the Chicago bullpen. And here is Isaac Paredes, who's grounded to short and hit a comebacker. The first pitch to Paredes. Strike 1 called on the inside with a slider. Down and in around the knees. And it's 0-1. Cubs really have had 1 chance to score. They made the most of it with bunts. And the Rays, this is their best chance to score. Really, first chance to score tonight. Now the 0-1. Swing grounded along third foul, and it is 0-2.
Slider in, slider down.
No balls, 2 strikes. The count to Isaac Paredes, who is usually a very good 2-strike hitter and 2-out hitter for that matter. And he asked for time. Runners in scoring position since May 4th. Isaac is hitting .406. That's top 5 in the American League. 0-2 the count to Paredes. Runners lead at every base. The Cub left-hander setting at the belt and pitching. Popped him up. Off of first into foul ground. Bellinger chasing after it and makes the catch. Paredes retired. The Rays leave the bases loaded. And still, while they got closer that inning, still do not have a run. And at the end of 6, it's 2-0 Chicago on the Rays ready.
Anticipation to see what...
Oh, goodness! That ball had a family! In game 2, his first home run. A 2-run bomb.
John, that wasn't just a home run. That ball almost exited the ballpark.
The hardest hit ball by a Red this year. It brought everyone to their feet. Cruz up to second. A stand-up.
Well, play ball weekend. We want to tell you about that because kids are invited to swing for the fences and play ball during Major League Baseball's play ball weekend this coming weekend, the 14th through the 16th. Every kid is invited to join the fun at events across the globe or in your own backyard. Learn more at playball.org/weekend. We go to the 7th. Here's Neil Solondz.
All right, thanks very much, Andy. As Nico Horner takes a strike from Taj Bradley to open the 7th inning. So Taj working now in the 7th. 0-1. Fouled off to the right, and it's 0-2. Horner now calls for it is granted time. 2-0 Cubs in the 7th. They scored both runs in the 5th, and they were set up by a misplay to start the inning and a true error later on in the frame. 0-2 from the windup from Bradley. That's taken outside for a ball 1-2. There's nobody warming the Rays bullpen. Bradley still under 90 pitches as he works in the 7th for the first time this year. 1-2. Swinging a chopper over the mound towards second, handled by Lau. He sets, fires low, but handled by Diaz in time. Horner, a good contact hitter, beat that into the ground, and Bradley has the first out in the 7th inning. I mean, to be fair, Taj Bradley should be working in it, at worst, a scoreless game at this point in time. So Horner, who scored one of the 2 runs, is retired. Patrick Wisdom, who got down one of 3 bunts in that 2-run 5th, now stands at the plate. The pitch. That's a fastball high and tight for a ball 1-0. Wisdom also is struck out. He's in an 0 for 10 stretch, and he's had probably the 2 most important at-bats of this series. 0-1. That's a breaking ball strike. Should be 1-1. Right, the first pitch was upstairs. They've got 0-2 on the board. It is 1-1. Van Iasonia making the correction. 1-1 coming. Outside for a ball 2-1. Wisdom was hit by a pitch last night ahead of the Cody Bellinger homer that gave the Cubs the lead for good in a 4-3 win. 2-1. That's outside. It's 3-1. And then he got the first sacrifice down tonight that put runners at second and third with 1 out in the 5th inning. And then you had a sacrifice with the Rays, or a sacrifice attempt where the Rays should have got the out at the plate. 3-1. Check swing. It's outside ball 4, and that's the second walk issued by Bradley, who's making sure that pitch was off the plate, and Van Iasonia says it was. So a 1-out base runner. 1 on, 1 out, 7th inning, 2-0 game. Rays have no more margin for error, and here comes Pete Crow Armstrong, who also bunted. And Isaac Paredes flipped home to Alex Jackson, who dropped the baseball while trying to tag out Michael Bush. Should have been an out at the plate. It was ruled unsuccessful sacrifice as a grounder foul to first, 0-1. And a fielder's choice. No RBI. And then the next batter, the on-deck man, Jan Gomes, the number 9 hitter, got down a successful sacrifice to score the second run. 1 on, 1 out, 0-1 to Armstrong, the center fielder, who's also made a nice running catch, or sliding catch is the pitch. Swinging a foul back, and it's 0-2. Other than the 2 walks, I don't think there's much today that Taj Bradley has done wrong. Maybe he could have controlled the running game a little bit better. Short lead for Wisdom at first, 0-2 to Pete Crow Armstrong. Taken, fastball high, 1-2.
That's really looking for something, though. I mean,
no, we're nitpicking.
Yeah,
and when you haven't scored, you probably are nitpicking a little bit.
Bradley has been great tonight. I mean, he has been worthy of a win tonight.
It's his best start of the year.
I think so.
Rays get bullpen activity with 1 out, 1-2. Swinging a chopper foul off the plate toward the netting, and it's still 1-2.
I think that's Chris Davinsky starting to warm up for the Rays.
He was given credit for the win 2 nights ago.
Yeah, he was.
It's the only one the Rays have on this homestand. As Bradley nearing 100 pitches now. Mark Leiter Jr. continues to warm for the Cubs as Bradley steps off. It's the first disengagement. Again, you get 2 per hitter. Caballero shortstop, almost behind second, is Bradley. Set. Now deals. Outside. 2-2. Wisdom was dancing off first base and almost daring a throw over. And probably could have taken off, but did not. The Cubs have been running at will against the Rays. 6 steals yesterday, and they've gotten a successful one again tonight. Throw to first, and that's the second disengagement, and now Wisdom can take off with one out. And unless you get a successful pickoff, the runner advances. Diaz holding the runner. He does not go, and it's swung on and missed, strike 3. Lively fastball at 97 from Bradley. That is his 10th strikeout of the night.
It sure is. And now all you got to do is go to canestrikeout.com for your printed home voucher and bring it to Cane's Furniture within 5 days to receive a coupon for 1 free taco and chips at participating area. Tijuana Flats locations. Restrictions apply. Visit canestrikeout.com for more info.
Yan Gomes 0 for 1 with the squeeze bunt for an RBI as a throw to first not in time. 2 gone, 7th inning. This finishes the 3rd time through the order for Taj Bradley, and since he's just shy of 100 pitches, this will likely be his final hitter. Can he keep the Rays within a bloop and a blast? Here's the first pitch from Taj. That's way high, fastball 1-0. Again, this is also a part of the maturing process. The ability when you're starting to feel fatigued to still find a way to get through the order, get that number 9 hitter, finish things off here. Not have the bullpen to chase it out. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Throw to first. Not in time. Diving back hit first was Wisdom. 1-1 now on Gomes. I would venture to say this isn't only the best start by Taj Bradley, it's one of the best starts that a Rays pitcher has had this year.
I think the last time a starter had double figures strikeouts.
1-1. That's high. And it's 2-1. As now Bradley beyond the 100 pitch mark. Well, you think about it, he's given up 3 hits. A single that could have been played. A ground single through the left side. And another base hit that was rolled into right field. 2-1. That's low, and it goes off the glove of Jackson to the screen. And down to second goes Wisdom. That's got to be a pass ball. 3 balls and a strike. It has not been a great night for the Rays catcher. Just kind of clanked right off the mitt as he tried to frame it, and it really didn't have a chance to make that a strike. Three-1 coming with a runner now at second and 2 down. Swing and a miss. Fastball by him, and it's full. They've scored that a wild pitch. But again, I think that's got to be received. Rays have not played clean defensively in this 2-0 game. Payoff with a runner at second in Wisdom. Here it comes to Gomes. 3-2. Swing and a foul tip held by Jackson. He got him. Taj Bradley strikes out 11 in 7 terrific innings tonight. Now can the Rays get him off the hook? At the stretch, it's Cubs 2, Rays nothing on the Rays Baseball Network.
O'Reilly.
Pitch. High drive. Deep left. Grand slam. Sensational.
To have your first Major League walk-off a slam? Are you kidding? It's only fitting.
Now it's time for Who Could It Be? We're going to show you the childhood photo of a big league star. Can you guess who it is? The answer is Juan Soto.
Engineered for efficiency, comfort, and ease. Bosch tools are built to keep workers feeling productive and off the injured list. Bosch tools, what hard workers deserve. Mark Leiter Jr. is into the game as we go to the home seventh. Still 2-0 Chicago.
Ahmed Rosario will hit, and he will take a called strike, 0-1. You could argue that Taj Bradley, I don't think it's an argument. Taj Bradley outpitched Justin Steele and is on the short end of a 2-0 ball game. Steele went 6, Bradley 7, 0-1. Swing at a ground ball, roll over toward third, handled on the run. Wisdom's one-hop throw, skips past Bellinger and up the right field side. On his way down to second is Rosario. He's there standing up, and the Rays suddenly have a rally going, down 2-0 in their half of the seventh. They'll score an infield hit and an error on Wisdom. To be frank, if that throw is there, I think Rosario's out at first.
Yeah, I think I would have gone two-base throwing error because we're getting another look at it here. I mean, he's out by a long 1.5 to 2 steps if that ball is fielded. It's an errant throw, but I'm glad for Ahmed that he's got a base hit out of it.
All right, the Rays got to get at least this run back. They scored a run against Mark Leiter Jr. 2 nights ago when they came back and won 5-2. Jose Siri, the tying run at the plate, the corner infielders looking for the bunt, and a pitch is taken for a strike, 0-1. As sure as I'm sitting here, Jose Siri is not bunting here. Now with the bottom third of the lineup behind him. Siri with a home run so far in this set, takes outside here, 1-1. He has home runs in both games in this series. Rays have double barrel action now. It looks like Colin Poche and Chris Davinsky getting warm. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch coming to Siri. That's high, and it's 2-1. Rays now have out-hit the Cubs 4-3. Again, a game without an extra base hit, with Cubs scoring their runs on balls that weren't hit out of the infield. 2-1 with Rosario at second. Swing and a miss at a slow curve. It's 2-2. Mark Leiter Jr. faced 3 batters the other night, gave up a hit, a walk, and got a strikeout, was charged with a run. Nobody's warming up behind him. Big spot for the Rays to at least get one back, and now Siri calls for and is granted time. Rays had the bases loaded last inning, didn't score as Isaac Paredes, their top RBI guy, popped out. They had hits from Lau and Diaz and a walk to the number 9 hitter Alex Jackson, but couldn't make the Cubs pay. 2-2. That's low and it's full. That's that splitter from Leiter. That's his best pitch. He's only given up a couple of hits this year on that offering. You got to do your best to see it out of the strike zone. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Man at second, nobody out. The veteran Leiter Jr., of course, his dad, also a former big leaguer. Ready and delivers. Check swing. It didn't go. It's ball 4, and the tying runs aboard. Nobody out here in the 7th inning.
Now is when I think it's possible you could see Cabby lay down a bunt, because you've got left-handed pinch hitters if you want, in Palacios and Josh Lowe. We'll see how the Cubs play defensively.
I don't know, against Leiter's splitter, that I would use a left-handed batter here. I think you're almost better having right on right.
Certainly worth discussion. They do have Bellinger coming in shallow and Wisdom.
And a breaking ball is low to Caballero, who is not squaring 1-0. At least with the infielders.
Too near where I always wonder, why does it have to be a sac bunt? Like if it's a fast runner like Caballero, you could just bunt and try to load the bases.
I think right now with the corner infielders in, though, it's hard to do that. Maybe you can drive it by him. With 2 on and none out, a 1-0 pitch. Cabby swings and fouls it to the right. It's 1-1.
Maybe I just have bunt on the mind after that top of the 5th inning.
And again, I understand it from the other side. But when you're trailing 2-0, I don't like the idea of necessarily giving up an out. When you're looking for the first run, it all made sense the way that game was going. Yeah, gave 2 runs home, not 1. 1-1 is slapped foul to the right, and it's 1-2, and that was a fastball at 91. Boy, the Rays hitters have just been late to heaters in this game, and good part of the homestand. Caballero, remember, homered yesterday. You don't want to get too big with the swing, though. Leiter has allowed just 1 homer this year. This is where his splitter is so good. 1-2. That's taken all the way, called strike 3, and he fooled him by coming in with a fastball. Caballero must have been guessing off speed, and he got the heater, and it got by him. And the Rays will pinch hit Josh Lowe now for Johnny DeLuca. So the righty didn't get the hit. Now the Rays will bring up a left-hander in Josh Lowe. Both hitters, DeLuca and Lowe, are struggling mightily. Johnny DeLuca's on a 1 for 37. And Josh Lowe has had 1 hit since coming off the injured list. It was his first at bat. He does have 2 homers this year, and of course was a 20-homer guy last year. First pitch. Slow curve in there for a called strike, 0-1. Again, good speed on the bases with Rosario at second and Siri at first. Rays down 2-0, 7th inning. Just hoping to get something back here. The pitch. That's in the dirt. Nice stop by the catcher Gomes. Veteran makes the play, and it's 1-1.
How long Gomes has been in the league? I'm pretty sure, Neil, that he was the starting catcher for Cleveland when the Rays beat them in the wild card game back in 2013.
That's amazing that he's still around.
It sure is.
And he's still only 35, I say only, but 35 years of age. 1-1 to Josh Lowe. Again, pinch hitting. Here it comes. That's down and in for a ball. 2-1. Again, the splitter. And Josh Lowe would not chase. Chris Miller tells us he debuted in 2012 with Toronto.
Really? He was with the Blue Jays? That I don't know.
He was. He was one of the few players from Brazil to get to the big leagues. 2-1. Check swing. It's a called strike. That pitch looked low. Instead of being 3-1, it's 2-2, and Josh Lowe not really happy with it. I don't blame him. Boy, when things aren't going well for you as a hitter, sometimes a borderline pitch doesn't quite go your way. Can he battle back? Leiter ready. A 2-2. Swinging a line drive over short. It's a base hit in the left center field. It'll get the Rays on the board. Throw goes to third, and the throw not in time. It's an RBI single for Josh Lowe as Rosario scores, and the tying run series now 90 feet away. 2-1 ball game. I'll give Josh credit there. He hasn't been going well. He got a splitter up and away, and he was able to just punch it to that spot.
It's very easy to forget because it hasn't happened so much yet this year, just how productive he was for the Rays a year ago, driving in over 80 runs, and they don't all come on homers. A lot of times they come on balls just like that. It's a great end to that at-bat by Josh Lowe. And that ball was moving away from him also. He went with the pitch. That's when all that work that you're putting in starts to feel validated. A little success. And Hottovy is coming to the mound once again, the pitching coach for the Cubs. Meantime, there's Major League Fun in the Sun action at St. Pierre Clearwater, proud home of the Rays. Playing your glorious white sand escape at visitspc.com.
Ben Rortvedt is going to pinch hit for Alex Jackson here. Jackson had had a tough day behind the plate, but next to it had a soft single and a walk. But Rortvedt is certainly the better bet to put the ball in play in this spot. And again, Rays down 2-1 with runners at first and third. Remember, you got good speed at first in Josh Lowe. He's yet to attempt a stolen base since coming off the injured list. Remember, he was a 2020 guy last year, 2030 guy with 30 stolen bases. Rortvedt without a home run this year and a total of 9 runs batted in. Middle infield looks for 2. Tyson Miller, who pitched yesterday, warming up in the pen. Breaking ball is outside from Leiter. It's 1-0 to Rortvedt. Again, Siri at third. Low at first. Bellinger holding the runner at first, and Wisdom wide of the bag at third and in slightly in case of a squeeze bunt attempt here. 1-0 pitch, runner goes at first. It's a breaking ball strike, no throw to second. A fake throw by Gomes. Stolen base for Lowe, his first of the year. And now the Rays have the tying run at third, the go-ahead run at second with just one out. One ball, one strike to count. The Cubs are playing the infield back. They're conceding the tying run. All you got to do is get a ground ball. And the pitch is low for a ball, and it's 2-1. Ground ball to the right side or past the mound is going to tie the game.
That's really interesting. You normally see teams play more aggressively defensively late in the game. Sometimes even early in the game.
Cubs, who have the most bullpen losses in the National League, trying not to waste a lead here. 2-1 is a broken back ground ball past the mound that'll tie the game. Second baseman's got it. The throw to first by Bush is in time. Rortvedt retired, but series scores. We've got a 2-2 game with Josh Lowe going to third. So the Rays with 2 already here in the 7th inning and looking for more.
10th run and batted in for Ben Rortvedt. And now you got a chance with Yandy Diaz at the plate to grab the lead. The Rays sit down Davinsky in the bullpen, Poche warming. I would have thought this is a Jason Adam situation, but Poche's warming.
There's the first pitch to Yandy Diaz with the go-ahead run at third. And the first pitch is in there, a strike, 0-1. Can the Rays get their first lead of the night? They've got Taj Bradley off the hook. Justin Steele now will not win this game. It's come down to a battle of bullpens. Rays have scored twice, the 0-1. That's up and in. Fastball, and it's 1-1. Yandy has a hit in 3 turns tonight. He's hit in every game in this homestand, the only Ray to do so, but he doesn't have an extra base hit. Right now, a single is enough. Rays need that for the lead. The pitch. Swing of the line drive center field. It's a base hit, and the Rays do have their first lead. Scoring from third Lowe, Yandy pumps his fist. The Rays up 3-2 on a 3-run 7th. And that'll be it for Mark Leiter Jr. as he blows the save and now is on the hook. We'll come back with a new pitcher, Tyson Miller, when we return. 3-2 Rays in the 7th on the Rays Baseball Network.
At Game Time Vending, we help local bars, restaurants, clubs, movie theaters, fraternal organizations, hotels, and other entertainment venues increase revenue with our 50-50 profit-sharing model, making money for you without any upfront costs or fees. As the largest locally owned amusement vending operator in Florida, we've partnered with hundreds of businesses across the state to provide them with jukeboxes, pool tables, amusement...
There's a ball driven in deep left field, up and gone to the home run court. Jose Ramirez, home run number 7. There's another long fly ball. Deep center field, and gone to Souvenir City. Career home run number 200 for Jose. Right field, Rex Snyder back. He's going to wave goodbye. It's the first 3-homer game in the career of Jose Ramirez.
Now it's time for Eyes on the Ball Player. Can you find Aaron Judge in this sea of Yankee fans?
That one is drill.
A Judgian blast.
That is absolutely.
Tyson Miller worked for an inning and a third yesterday, was very effective, retiring all 4 batters he faced and striking out 2 of them. Well, the Rays have taken the lead 3-2 here with a 3-run 7th inning. And Diaz at first with 2 out. The batter, Randy Arozarena.
See if the Rays can tack on. Taylor Walls pinch running for Yandy over at first. He goes. Pitches outside a ball. Throw to second is high and not in time. Stolen base for Walls. We'll see if the Cubs want a review. Walls had to go down and get around the tag of Michael Bush. Both these teams are in the bottom in terms of preventing the opposition from stealing a base. and there will be no review. Want to know the count on a Rosarena, so a key insurance run at second for Randy, who's 0 for 3 tonight. Hit it hard his last time. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Chased a slider up and away, 1-1. Yandy, by the way, with his first run batted in 11 days, and it was a go-ahead ribby. Rays have had such a tough time scoring. They've got a 3-2 lead. Man at second, 2 out, and a 1-1 to a Rosarena. Swinging a ball popped up on the infield. Shortstop underneath it. Waiting is Horner. He makes the grab, and that'll do it for the Rays here in the 7th. But they take the lead. They scored 3 runs in the inning on 3 hits. An error helped out. And after 7...
Left field. McCormick back. It's over his head. The Guardians walk it off. Chill Will Brennan gives the Guardians their only lead of the night, and it only took 14 innings to get there. His first career walk-off hit will be one to remember.
We do not mess up your name. We pride ourselves here on MLB Central.
That's right.
Right?
That's
on
right.
Getting
All right, well, you can join your Rays this summer at Tropicana Field. Tickets start at just $10 at RaysBaseball.com. The 2024 season is presented by Orlando Health. Colin Poche on to pitch, and a bunch of changes for the Rays. Ben Roitford now catching. Paredes goes from third to first. Caballero goes from short to third. Walls goes in at short. Josh Lowe now in right.
And Dansby Swanson's going to pinch hit against Colin Poche. First one. It's up and in for a ball high. 1-0. He's hitting for Mike Tauchman. Rays could have used Jason Adam in this spot. I don't know if Adam and Fairbanks, maybe one of them isn't available. 1-0. Slider strike, and it's 1-1. Remember, Poche pitched yesterday in the 9th inning, and he had 4 balls hit extremely hard against him, didn't allow a run. Rays lost 4-3. Up 3-2 now. The lefty deals 1-1. That's low, and it's 2-1. And now Adam begins to throw. Again, once Poche's in, he's got to face at least 3 hitters. Swanson, a quiet series, an infield hit in his first couple of games, coming off the bench now for the Cubs. They scored 2 in the 5th, raised 3 in the 7th, and the pitch hit a mile high on the infield left side. Who's got it, Walls or Caballero? And they come together, and Caballero backpedals to make the play on the turf, right in front of Walls for out number 1. That was an adventure. If it hits a wire up there in fair territory, it's in play. If it hits the A or B ring, and it looked like it went at least above the rings because both had difficulty with it. 1 gone in the 8th. And now it's Chris Morel's turn, the leading home run hitter for the Cubs. 3-2 Rays, 8th inning, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ground ball to third on one hop, snared by Caballero. He sets, throws, and in time, and Poche with 2 quick outs here in the 8th with a 1-run lead.
This is the guy, though, because Bellinger hits lefties very well, and we saw that once again yesterday, taking Clevenger out. He is the tying run, and he's a scary hitter this late in the game.
9 home runs on the year. That was only his second, though, against the lefty, even though he's got the best average left on left in baseball. And he hit it on a slider. How does Poche attack here? 3-2 Rays, 8th inning. Can they get the shutdown frame? First one. That's high for a ball, 1-0. Bellinger, a single in 3 turns tonight against Taj Bradley, who right now is on the right side after going 7 innings with 2 unearned runs. Fanned 11, 1-0. Swing and a rollover grounder, foul behind first. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. No credit, Taj, for giving the Rays a chance. Tampa Bay played loose defense in the 5th, leading to the 2 unearned runs, but Bradley didn't allow anything else. And now it's Poche to finish the 8th. A 1-1 with 2 out. Slider called, strike 2, and it's 1-2. Well, both these teams play a lot of one-run games. The Cubs the most in baseball. Rays trying to beat them at their own game as a pitch rolled toward first. Going to be a tough play, handled by Paredes. He will tag the runner, Bellinger, and that'll do it. Poche, a clean 1-2-3/8. He gets the tough lefty Bellinger and maintains the lead. It's 3-2 Tampa Bay after 7.
Anticipation to see what...
Oh, goodness! That ball had a family! In game 2, his first home run. A 2-run bomb.
John, that wasn't just a home run. That ball almost exited the ballpark.
The hardest hit ball by a Red this year. It brought everyone to their feet.
Left field. McCormick back. It's over his head. The Guardians walk it off. Chill Will Brennan gives the Guardians their only lead of the night. And it only took 14 innings to get there. His first career walk-off hit will be one to remember.
Listen, I've been following you for a while, man. Bottom line is you get your A swing off and generate a lot of pop.
I just want to go.
I'm getting
barrel.
this A to B.
Oh, man. Straight to the ball, barrel. Hitting the ball is the hardest thing to do. I'm a person from 0-0. I'm looking for spin. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to look for spin, but I'm going to time up a fastball. 0-0. If you spin it, I'm swinging. Like, if you spin it in the middle, I'm going to destroy it.
Marcell Ozuna out to left center field. Don't bother chasing it. That thing is long gone. The bats have come back to life. It is 5-2 Atlanta. A big fly from the big...
On the postgame show, hopefully you'll give us a ring on the Spectrum fan line. Spectrum has built the network you need for whatever future you want. TV, internet, voice, and mobile. Visit Spectrum.com today to learn more. And let's go get them, guys. 3 outs away from another dub.
That's right, Chris. Thank you. And, of course, we'll be listening to the postgame show. Discover a million ways to play and easy vibes in Tampa Bay. Start at visitTampaBay.com. Colton Brewer, the new pitcher. Some other defensive changes to tell you as we go to the home 8th inning. And it's 3-2 Rays.
Almost an entirely different infield as Brandon Lau swings and lines it into right. It's a base hit for Brandon. His second hit of the night, and the Rays a leadoff base runner against Colton Brewer here in the 8th inning, up 3-2. Dansby Swanson pinch hit last half inning. He stays in the game at shortstop. Nico Horner goes from short to second. Michael Busch from second to first. And Cody Bellinger from first to left field. I think that's it. It's not too much to worry about. As the Rays now at 7 hits to 3 for the Cubs and a 3-2 lead, and they look for more with Isaac Paredes against Colton Brewer, who briefly was a Ray. Throw to first, not in time, and it hit off of Lau. Goes into foul ground, but not far enough for Brandon to advance. And boy, he got hit pretty square by that and calls for in his granted time. Where'd that get him? He's still kind of crouched before getting up. That hit him in the leg? Yeah, it got him on the back of the calf almost. I can lock up on you. Paredes had a chance to give the Rays the lead in the 6th inning, but popped out with the bases full. First pitch is a breaking ball strike from Brewer, 0-1. Brewer's been around. He's been with the Phillies and the Red Sox, and now with the Cubs. And again, briefly with the Rays, I thought the Yankees too for a spell. We did have him for a short stint. 0-1. That's a little low for a ball, and it's 1-1. Fourth pitcher of the night is Tyson Miller. Got the last out in the 7th inning after Mark Leiter gave up the 2-0 lead. Next pitch. That's a slider strike, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Brewer was on the injured list until recently. And then came off when Ben Brown, one of the starting pitchers, went on the injured list. Man on, none out. 1-2. Swing and a foul tip, and not held onto by Yan Gomes. It's still 1-2. Just barely stayed alive, did Paredes. Appears that Isak is not seeing that slider from Brewer all that well. Rays have a righty on deck, again in Rosario, and then Siri thereafter. They still have Palacios on the bench if they should use him. 1-2. Ground ball hit hard toward third, backhanded off the heel of Wisdom into foul ground, and everybody's safe. Cubs defense at third base has been, to say it kindly, shaky. And they'll score that an error on Wisdom, who went to his backhand and had it roll up the side of his mitt. That's the second error for the Cubs in as many innings. And Ahmed Rosario has a chance to open this game up with 2 on and none out, up 3-2 in the 8th. Pete Fairbanks warming up in the Rays bullpen. Wisdom was the third baseman last year and had trouble, and he's giving Morel a day off, who also has had a tough time. The pitch taken a little low by Ahmed Rosario, 1-0. Last year, Brewer pitched for the Yankees. I think actually he pitched in the Rays system, but only in AAA Durham. He was in big league camp. 1-0. Swinging a ball, poked foul to the right, and it's 1-1. His only appearances in the majors were with New York. He's also been in the majors with Boston and San Diego. But again, I thought he was with the Phillies for a little bit too. Maybe not have pitched there at the big league level. A veteran who's bounced around a bit. Bearded right-hander ready and deals. Swing and a miss. Curveball. And now Rosario down in the count, 1-2. Jose Siri waiting on deck. Rosario, an infield hit that started the 3-run rally last inning. Chases a ball way off the plate for strike 3, and he's retired for the first out in the 8th inning. Gotta bring up Jose Siri. A walk and a run scored tonight. His walk came in the 3-run 7th inning. Again, Rays looking for more here in the 8th. Pete Fairbanks continues to warm for Tampa Bay. Lefty gets loose now for the Cubs. Is the pitch. Swing and a miss at a slider, 0-1. Rays had the option here of, not in this spot, but let's say for Rosario, of bringing up Richie Palacios. They elected not to use Richie. 0-1. Check swing. Did he go? And appeal. Ball 1 upheld down at first. Ben May, the umpire there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, a single by Lau. He's at second. In error has Paredes over at first. A little insurance wouldn't hurt. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Again, a slider from Brewer, and that's all he's throwing right now, and it's 1-2. The Rays having a tough time adjusting. All of their righties are chasing and getting some really awkward swings against Brewer. Siri 2 for 10 with a homer this series. Swings and hits one high in the air, deep to center. Cole Armstrong back to the track, makes the catch, and then goes into the wall, and the runners have to retreat. With 1 out, they're playing it halfway, and understandable. Crow Armstrong went a mile to get that one, and he caught it on the backhand up against the burst sign in right center field. That's a second terrific play made by Pete Crow Armstrong in center. And he did it without even touching the wall. catching it right up against it. Here's Jose Caballero with 2 on, 2 out. Outside a slider, and it's 1-0. Now, the Cubs have made some negative plays defensively, but they've also made some pretty positive ones, and Pete Crow Armstrong has made a couple. On the infield, second baseman Bush earlier in the game saved a run with a diving stop. 1-0. That's a check swing and a ball outside. It's 2-0. Josh Lowe has a monster hit in this ballgame off the bench, is waiting on deck. Well, the research tool said that was a 10% catch probability, the play by Pete Crow Armstrong. See if it's a game changer or not. 2-0 is hit high in the air towards shallow left, should end the inning. Bellinger back now in, still coming in under it to make the grab. And the Rays get 2 on and none out and do not score in the 8th. So they'll have to hope that 3 is enough. Pete Fairbanks coming in, Rays 3, Cubs 2 on the Rays Baseball Network.
Welcome to the show. This kid is electric. First career double, first career base hit. Anticipation to see what...
Oh, goodness! That ball had a family! In game 2, his first home run. A 2-run bomb.
John, that wasn't just a home run. That ball almost exited the ballpark.
The hardest hit ball by a Red this year. It brought everyone to their feet.
Now it's time for Eyes on the Ball Player.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the Rays and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Rays. Pete Fairbanks, first save chance of the homestand, only his second appearance. He will pitch the 9th inning with a 3-2 lead. And he's got scheduled to hit Suzuki, Bush, and Horner for the Cubs. And here with the play-by-play, hopefully to bring us home a winner and a series victory, Andy Freed.
Okay, Neil, it would be a little bit of a salve on the wound of the earlier days of this homestand to get a series win as they get ready to head on the road. Here is Seiya Suzuki against Fairbanks to start the 9th. 3-2 Rays. And Pete's first one. Fastball rips in for a strike, and it's 0-1. 98 out of the hand of the tall right-hander Pete Fairbanks. 0-1. Suzuki has been hitting for power lately, including a homer last night. Got 8 on the season. And the 0-1. Another fastball, low and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Taj Bradley is most definitely deserved of a win tonight. And the Rays, frankly, haven't gotten many wins for their starting pitchers lately. On 1-1, breaking ball, chopped foul back of the plate. It's 1-2, and it's up to Fairbanks to nail it down. And I still consider Pete one of the top closers in the league. 1 ball and 2 strikes, basically 2-pitch pitcher. Hard fastball, hard breaking ball. He throws on 1-2. Slow ground ball up the middle. Behind the bag at second is Lau. Quick throw to first, and there's 1 out. And we pause for station identification on the Tampa Bay Rays Radio Network. Along with Neil Solondz, I'm Andy Freed. Chris Adams-Wall setting up for the postgame show. The Rays are trying to finish off the Cubs, leading 3-2 in the 7th. 1 out, scoring 3 in the 7th, leading 3-2 in the 9th. And with 1 out, here's Pete Fairbanks throwing breaking ball too low to left-hand batting Michael Bush. And 1-0. Cubs have a lefty warming in their bullpen. But that's thinking rather optimistically as the Cubs trail by a run. 1-1-0. Fastball is low.
I think it's Luke Little because I can't imagine Drew Smyler's available. Little's the only lefty otherwise available.
He's fallen behind 2-0 here to Michael Busch. It was an infield single and a run scored. Grounded second and struck out looking. All against Bradley. Fairbanks throws, hit out of play into the upper deck off third. And it is 2 balls and 1 strike. Chris had his wall trying to do a little research, and let's double check. But he is saying, Neil, that he thinks this is the Rays' first lead at home in the top of the 9th since the final game against Kansas City. That's at home. And this pitch is outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. And I look at it, and I think he's right.
The walk-offs against Oakland where you trailed, right?
Yeah. I think Chris is onto something here. That really says something. It's been a while. Right, you think about it. Fairbanks' saves have all come on the road. On the last trip in Miami and in Baltimore. Just not many chances to do it at home.
Just wins have been hard to come by, period.
Yeah. 3-1 the count to Michael Busch. Nico Horner on deck. The stretch, Fairbanks pitches. Swing and a miss, strike 2, and it's 3-2.
Well, he just challenged him with a heater, and as far behind that as Busch was, I think you got to do the same on 3-2.
3 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out, nobody on. The infield playing him to pull as a left-handed batter. Fairbanks delivers. That's outside. Ball 4. Throwing the fastball, and credit to Busch for taking it. And now the tying run is on, and we'll see if Busch wants to run. 1 out of 2 on stolen base tries.
I think you got to worry about the stolen base because Pete Fairbanks and the Rays have had a tough time holding runners.
Here comes Nico Horner, who's a very hard guy to strike out. He's 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. 3-2 Rays, but a base runner for Chicago in the 9th. And the first pitch, Horner swings and fouls it away to the right side and out of play, and it's 0-1.
It's like Ian Happ is in the on-deck circle to hit for Wisdom if we get that far.
He'd having to go through the middle part of the Cubs order, and a rare non-start for Ian Happ, so they get to slide it in where they want. He would love to roll the double play grounder and get to Atlanta. First, the 1-strike delivery. Breaking ball hit up the middle, diving as Walls. Glove flip to second one, throw to first, Rays win. Oh, what a way to end the ball game as the Rays on a spectacular double play. 6-4-3. Taylor Walls saves the day, and the Rays beat the Cubs and win the series 2-1. You talk about defensive reinforcement. Taylor Walls. I'll be honest, Neil, off the bat, that looked like a base hit up the middle.
Looked like. I thought there was no doubt. And to turn that into 2 outs? Wow.
The Rays turn the double play and win the game 3-2, win the series 2-1. You talk about an outstanding double play. With that, TD Synnex donates another $250 to Academy Prep Centers for Education. To learn more, visit academyprep.org. That's one of the highlights of the year right there for the Tampa Bay Rays as they beat the Cubs in a 1-run victory, making a winner out of Taj Bradley and a save for Pete Fairbanks. So we believe we're going to be joined by Josh Lowe, who had the base hit in the 7th inning, which really got the comeback rolling for the Rays, and he was down 2 strikes in the count. But the Rays hold the Cubs to 3 hits as win it 3-2, and boy, what an exhilarating ending to what has been a frustrating homestand, but that's the way you ended a series win with just a highlight play of the year.
You know, the Rays have had 5 walk-offs. That almost feels like a walk-off, to be frank, right? I mean, to make a play like that, I mean, that's near impossible. As Josh Lowe now joins us downstairs, he had a key pinch hit off the bench in the Rays 3-2 in, and Josh, we were so excited about that play that Walls made. Can you tell us what you saw from your perspective before we get to your at-bat?
I'm still trying to figure out what just happened. Oh my goodness, that was one of the best plays, I think, in that situation.